Oh, what it do, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew, but this is the trade deadline special. Like always, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. TC Stills. Check out the intro, and we will be right back.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, just a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, just a promise and a threat.
What it do, Yankees universe. Like I said, welcome to the special edition, the late night version of the Yankees Morning Brew. Like I said, I'm your guy Hector, always joined by my co-host, Mr. TC Stills. All you Yankee fans out there, go get a bourbon, go get a coffee, get whatever you can. TC, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling great. This is cool, man. It's a Monday night with Hector. Wow, talking some Yankees. I know it's rough times and Cashman's not making any moves, but hey, we got some, we got some chat. We got some great guests. I can't wait for this show. This is awesome.
We're gonna have a bunch of special guests. A lot of our friends that are content creators will be coming on the channel. We're going to have a whole conversation, whether it's the Yankees, whether it's the Mets, or just MLB in general. Before we continue, let's do a little bit of the roll call real quick. Let's shout out the chat. There's a lot of y'all in the chat right now.
Already.
If you guys can, please smack that like button.
Well, they gave up. They gave up on the game. That's why.
In the building. My guy Jonathan, what it do? Salute. Mikey Maz is in the building.
All right,
My
Mazza.
guy Mikey
What's
Maz,
up, buddy?
what it do? Salute. Yankee boy number 7 is in
Joel.
the building.
Oh, yes, sir. Joel. How you
do?
doing, buddy?
David Cohn is in the building. David, how you doing? Salute. If you guys can, please smack that like button. Adam, he's a Met fan, but guess what, Adam?
Okay.
Welcome to the conversation. We all got to talk about it. We all got tears
welcome
to share for our team. James Cook is in the building. Shout out our guy James Cook. Salute.
What's up,
Like
James?
I said, 3 capital S's. Dev Finch is in the building. Profile picture is kind of scary, but shout out to Dev in the chat. Salute. 3 capital S's. If you guys can, we got 32 people in the building. Please smack that like button. New York Yankees girl 33 is in the building.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. Welcome to the chat. Of course, the Rookie Podcast is in the building. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. If I didn't mention your name, I do apologize. My guy Damian Serrano's in the building. Tyler Tabbitt's in the building. My guy Jason from 161 is in the building. The Pinstripe Express is here. Shout out to everybody that is in the chat. If you guys can, like I said, smack that like button. Bro, TC, having a conversation, right? I know we're about to kick off this show. We got Jigga Man Portal backstage. We got Eddie Crash from the Rookies. Shout out to our guy Eddie, who killed it earlier today with Giraffe Neck Mark, one of the biggest YouTube content creators when it comes to covering baseball. And as a Met fan, shout out to Eddie because he's killing it over there. Without further ado, let's bring up the familiar. Celso's in the building.
Jigga.
Eddie Crash is in the building.
Yeah,
What up? All right, first thing first, let's applaud you. Eddie, great job, my guy.
Yes, sir.
What an
He has
episode
more knowledge
today,
than Cashman.
Okay, listen, I saw reports right after that episode. People were calling for you to be the new GM for the Yankees, bro. So you obviously killed it today.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. The episode was a lot of fun, so thank you for Mark for coming on. I doubt he's in the chat, but just want to give a quick shout out to Giraffe Neck Mark for coming on this morning. And that was an awesome podcast produced by the man himself, Jigga Man Porto.
Oh,
that's the guy right there.
Oh, geez, I'll send you the $20.
First of all, I'm kind of upset at everybody that's here right now. Right? I'm kind of upset because I forgot to plug my mic in. Right, and no one told me, hey, Hector, your mic sounds a little bit off. No one told me, I literally had my mic in my hand, the wire was wrapped around it. I was like, what's all this? I didn't plug in my goddamn mic. No wonder.
The good thing is, bro, your Latin pipes are so loud, we couldn't tell the difference, bro. So, but you know what? You sound so much clearer now, Hector. Now
I had no idea.
I didn't know at all.
Listen, but shout out to you guys. Appreciate Eddie taking time to jump on with us. Celso as well to jump on with us. But guys, we got to talk about it, right? And like I said, regardless if it's the Mets, regardless if it's the Yankees, we have to talk about our team, right? Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. 35 people in the building. Please smack that like button. So we got to start it off a little bit spicy. Just a little bit spicy. Sugar and spice would make everything nice. Eddie, I'm going to throw it over to you. When it comes to the trades that happened over the past 24 hours with your New York Mets, as a Met fan, where do you stand with your team right now? And how do you feel about the direction that they decided to go in?
Well, I think the sell part of it is appropriate, but what Billy Epler is, it almost looks like he's rebuilding, which is weird because it's only supposed to be a sell. And if he does trade Verlander, I really think that it's just a rebuild, and they got to go out and have the best all season in baseball history, which I really don't think will happen. But yeah, they would have to go out and get maybe Aaron Nola, maybe maybe Blake Snell, maybe all the guys that are on the market, and they have to rebuild the entire pitching staff. I really don't think that's worth it. So I think they hang on to Verlander. I think he wants to play it out with the Mets and see what works. And I think Verlander ultimately wants to stay and see how it works out. But I really don't know where the future lies with him. But regarding the other pitchers in New York, Max Scherzer was traded for Eddie Krause had his fire. Thank you. Got the custom. Oh wait, wrong side. Yeah. Kid Casper 22 there. Pretty sick. Starting off with David Robertson, they traded him to the Marlins for Marco Vargas and Ronald Hernandez. Decent trade. Marco Vargas is now the Mets number 7 prospect. He went 3 for 5 today in the Mets Florida Coast League game. So pretty good day for him. And then Ronald Hernandez is 19. Not seeing why they need a young catcher, but maybe if Narvaez ends up leaving, and then they can call up Ronald and see where he is. They also have Kevin Parada, their number 1 prospect, who is currently in single A. But I think that where Parada is right now is ETA for the league is 2025. So if Narvaez does end up leaving, they can call him up rather than Hernandez, because Parada's the number 1 prospect. He's been highly touted for a couple years since he was drafted by the Mets. So I thought that trade was okay. I think what they got in Marco Vargas is huge because with Canna leaving, McNeil, I'm not saying Vargas comes up anytime soon, but where the Mets are now, where they're building off Beatty could be their starting third baseman, and then they have Marco Vargas at second or short. Lindor, they have Lindor for the next 9 years, so I don't think Francisco's going anywhere anytime soon. Lindor could even move to second if he really needs to. If he's getting up there in age, he can move to second, and Vargas could play short. They also have Jet Williams that could play short or second. So I'm running Mauricio, but they've been testing Mauricio in the outfield.
What so I'll say, Mauricio, Eddie.
Yeah, I want to throw it over to Sal. Go ahead, Sal.
I never give credit to the Mets, right? It's not in my nature, right? Not even that I hate the Mets. It's just as a Yankees fan, you never give credit to the Mets, right? But for the first time, I'm giving you guys credit because you have a front office that is willing to sit there and say, hey, we crapped the bed. All the big signings and money we spent, we thought was going to win us a championship. It's not happening. And they ripped the Band-Aid off the minute they traded David Robertson right after that game. And they said, here you go. We're making it clear as day. Because let's be real, you as a Met fan, I'm sure you agree, Robertson's been one of your best guys all season long. Like, he was a stud. So I feel like that was like a true sign when they ripped that Band-Aid off and said, hey, we're going to make crazy moves. The fact that you guys unloaded Scherzer, huge. Huge. Yeah. So I think you guys are showing that, hey, we're not rebuilding. Like you said, we are selling, but because we have plans for the future, I'd give anything to see the Yankees front office do something of that nature. So
Robertson going definitely made it clear that the Mets are in the selling direction because he has been probably the best bullpen guy this year. He's their closer, replaced Evan Diaz, who that's a huge spot to that's some big shoes to fill.
Robinson was pitching he was pitching for the Phillies, who went to the World Series. He was their closer last year, right? So when you look at David Robinson and what the Mets were able to get back, they got the 18th and 21st best prospect back from that organization. So they were able to make or get back anything instead of just keeping Robinson and not make the postseason. TC, I want to get your take real quick when it comes to that topic, and I'll circle back and talk about the Yankees and the direction that they went. Go ahead, TC.
No, I mean it shows that they know what exactly direction they're going into. They're selling. They know they have no chance this year. They had a rough season. They had a better, worse record than the Yankees. So I can see where they're coming from, why they're selling pieces, but they're getting anything they can from the guys that they're selling off. So and there's more guys probably to come. So they build for next year. They got a huge payroll, so they can go out and get anybody they can, and put some pieces around Alonso and Lindor, and if they keep Verlander, I think the Orioles are pushing for Verlander. I think they really want him, and Houston too is not a sleeper. They might go back and get them.
If there's any team that I would like to see Verlander go to, it'd probably be the Orioles, just because of their prospect pool, and they have so many good guys that they would be willing to give up for him.
Bingo. Yeah. And
they have a lot of guys. Yeah, a lot of guys to the prospects to come back.
If you're a Met fan, right, like Eddie, right, you got to take a step back and realize that if this trade pans out, if Acuna pans out to be an all-star player or a franchise player, this trade is going to go down as one of the most influential or impactful trades in Mets history, right? When you talk about trades with the Mets, Keith Hernandez comes up, Mike Piazza comes up, Carlos Delgado in the mid-2000s, that comes up. But if Acuna is able to become an all-star or become a franchise player, you were able to trade a player who was making 40+ million, who was past his prime, who was better known for the back of his baseball card instead of what he's doing right now for a top 50 prospect. You got to look at that. And Billy Epler, hats off to you. I know a lot of people, whether they be Mets fans or Angel fans, were trying to beat down or trying to throw dirt on Billy Epler's name over the past several years. He wasn't able to put a winning team around Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout. He struck out on a lot of deals when it comes to the Mets GM. Met being the Mets GM. But this trade right here, you just set yourself up. And on top of it, he saved $22 million. Steve Cohen was able to save $22 million next season. So when you look at this trade, it's a good move from by the New York Mets. But the reason why I started off with Eddie, right, and I know majority of us were Yankee fans here, and Eddie's going to join us on a conversation. But when it comes to the New York Yankees, which direction are we going? At least the New York Mets were able to take a step back and realize, you know what? We're not going to be able to make a run, even though they're like 6 or 5 games out of the last wild card spot. They waved the white flag, and they're trading off pieces to get value back, whether it's minimum value or whether it's maximum value. It's all value. Prospects are like lottery tickets. You try to stockpile as many lottery tickets as you can and see which ones you hit on. Eddie, I'm going to throw it over to you. When it comes to that analogy, what's your take and how do you feel?
I feel like where the Mets are right now, they have to sell. But where the Yankees are, where there's that gap in left field that could maybe turn the team around. I'm not saying they would get Juan Soto, but if they were to get Soto, that'd be huge. They have the second highest payroll in baseball, so I don't think it'll happen. Maybe even Tommy Pham from the Mets would be big for the Yankees because Pham's been awesome this year. And
like I told you backstage,
I know he's Eddie, not going to turn the team around.
No, but still, but like I told you backstage, the only reason I want Tommy Pham is so he could come over here and smack either Aaron Boone, Hal Steinbrenner, and Brian Cashman, all three of them at the same time. So what's your thoughts about that? And I just want to pull out one of these chats right here on Twitter, Real Bolshak, who said, Yankees said that what happens in this series versus the O's will decide if the Yankees are buyers or sellers, with the series tied 1-1. That was before we got embarrassed yesterday. Guess that means the entire 2023 season was riding on last night. And guess what? Last night came, we got embarrassed, and we're losing right now 5-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning.
And they benched Aaron Judge. So what does that say?
Exactly. Go ahead, Sels.
Look, I mean, the biggest thing for me right now is it's easy to sit here and say, yes, we should be sellers. I mean, problem is we don't have pieces that people want to buy. Okay. So we're sitting here watching the mess of a season that we have. And now all of a sudden I'm supposed to get excited that we might go get a left fielder. Oh, hey guys, let's fight for the wild card. You know what? Here's a good idea. Let's go get a left fielder. We've been preaching that shit since the beginning of the season, in the off season. So to me, sorry, Eddie's here. My apologies. I take it back. Chat, forgive me. Age limits. But it's just, it's really pathetic to me because I'm actually more excited seeing us do nothing. Nothing. If the deal isn't bringing Juan Soto, so I know we have hope for upcoming seasons, I don't want to see the Yankees do anything. Don't give me some fam deal to think you're going to appease the fans. Don't give me some fake trades just to do them, just so you say you were active at the deadline. No, I'm sorry to say it, but we are literally watching our entire team crap the bed. And if we miss the wild card, you got to hope and pray that that's something that's going to force this front office to have some pressure. So I, for one, and the chat can kill me for it, I am ecstatic every minute that passes by that we're not getting an announcement of a trade. And if I do get one that doesn't have Soto attached to it, you're wasting my time. I'm sorry. Right. There's nothing. Facts. Soto's not going to come here to fix us. Soto's going to give us the hope that, hey, we can have a piece that's going to be huge for us next season. No move we make right now helps us, even if we get to the wild card, helps us get past any of the guys that are going to be in the playoffs this year. Not going to happen. I want to
shout out a few chats real quick. Shout out to Luke, who is in the chat, who says Yankees are absolutely awful. Sell the entire team except Cole and Judge. I honestly could care less. And Eddie, I do apologize. The Ranger logo was blocking you out. I know you're an Islanders fan, right? So I do apologize when it comes to that, Eddie. I take that back. But someone else, they put it out in the chat. David Cohen, he said, Gleyber, that's it. Gleyber is probably one of the only things, or one of the only players that we have that actually has some value to him. But even if you trade Gleyber Torres, what are you getting back? Can he get you back a top 10, top 15 prospect? Right? The Mets were able to turn, like I said, Matt Scherzer to a top 50 prospect who automatically became the number one prospect in their farm system. The Texas Rangers, they were desperate. You remember the Chicago Cubs when they were desperate to get Aroldis Chapman back in 2016 and they traded Gleyber Torres? That's exactly what the Mets were able to do with Matt Scherzer. They turned Matt Scherzer into Acuna that if he's anything 50% of his brother, you guys hit a home run. When it comes to that, go ahead, TC. I want to throw it over to TC first, and then I'll throw it back to you, Eddie. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if I was Cashman, I'd open up the books and say, hey, everybody's available. You know, who do you want? I mean, they're wasting time. I mean, Rizzo's available, LeMahieu. I mean, there's some guys on here that are impossible to move, like Stanton. I mean, they can move Bader. There's pieces that they can sell. They need to sell off, and they need to bring MLB-ready prospects, guys that can help them right now or next year. Our prospects never pan out. Other teams' prospects seem to always work out. So I think we have a better chance of getting someone else's prospects because this front office has no clue what they're doing. I mean, perfect example today. They say Domingo Germán has an armpit problem. He's in the, riding the bench. They start Johnny Brito, but then Germán's in the bullpen. He comes in the game. What the hell is going on?
You know what? Let me ask you something there. Both, all three of you. Do we feel that maybe they were trying to see if they were moving Germán and the trade?
That's probably why
he came in.
Yeah, that's what somebody said. What's your thoughts on that, Eddie? Because that's what someone brought up during the I forgot which announcer said it during the game. What's your thoughts on that, Eddie?
And shout out to the chat. Y'all are going crazy in there. Yeah. That's so much. You're gonna have to do a second roll call in a minute. I'm just saying.
I know. I do. I know. We got Dane in the building. My guy D-Rod is in the building. Kevin Hunt is in the building.
I think I spotted Grace. Grace is in there.
Grace Monroe is in the building. I know we shouted out David Cone already.
Big time Jerry is in the building.
David, I'm gonna need you to. If you're related to Steve Cohen by any chance, I'm gonna need you to ask him for some money so you could buy the Yankees. Right? That's what we need right now. We need two Cohens owning both teams in New York City because, like I said, Steve Cohen came out. He opened up his checkbook. That's what you want from an owner. That's what you want from a billionaire, that they're not stingy, that they're not greedy. Eddie, I am very jealous and envious of you and your fan base because you have an owner who understands it, who gets it, who knows. Listen, we got to hit that reset button. Even if we're the #1 payroll, the most expensive payroll in baseball, if it's not working, you got to hit that reset button. Eat whatever garbage you can and move forward.
Yeah, I feel like where the Yankees are right now, they're 3.5 games back from an AL wild card spot. I think they might be able to. They probably should be able to get past the Red Sox, but they need the Astros to drop a lot for them to actually sneak in, and also the Blue Jays. And I don't think that's going to happen, honestly. So
with the roster that we have right now, Eddie, it's just I don't buy it. Like
if
I know
Josh
Aaron
Donaldson and IKF are anywhere near Yankee Stadium, well, the Yankees are actually trying to make a play. It's not going to work.
Yeah, and then when you look at the trade market on the players who were available a week and a half ago, who aren't available now, or players that we already missed out, who's out there, Eddie, that the Yankees could get to put in left field that you feel confident about?
Lane
Thomas.
What?
Like Lane Thomas from the Nationals?
I don't know. I mean, I think where the Cardinals are right now, they're willing to sell. So maybe Dylan Carlson. He's not going to turn the season around, though. He's not one of the guys that's going to go out and be a Juan Soto and be an Aaron Judge and completely shift the direction of a franchise. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Tommy Pham could do that either. But he could at least maybe win him some games because he is now the hottest hitter on the Mets. So, yeah, I don't know where the Yankees stand now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just.
What is Tommy Pham hitting right now?
Yeah, I think Tommy's hitting over 270, if I'm not mistaken. Jerry, big time Jerry is in the building. Jerry, how you doing? Jonathan Taylor, who said nobody. Exactly, Jonathan.
I also heard that the Yankees are listening to offers on Harrison Bader, so it's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw the alert that came out. All the ones that are expiring contracts. Severino,
everybody.
Bader. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a bunch. Okay, good. Then
Higashioka.
Do it.
Rizzo.
But the thing is, we're not hearing this from the Yankees front office.
Right.
At least before the Mets came out and traded Matt Scherzer, you heard it from them saying we're looking what to do with this team. You don't hear that from the Yankees. You don't. So we could speculate. All these stories can come out. At the end of the day, they're just clickbaits.
It's also with what you said about how you're jealous of the Mets fan base because they have an owner that understands. And I feel like the front office is more open about stuff. Like, let's put it, you never hear stuff from the Yankees regarding trade news, signings. Like, they keep it all in the hush. Like, Steve Cohen will come out and tell you, we are looking to get pitchers, whatever. We're going to do whatever it takes to make this team better. And I feel like you never get that from the Yankees. It's never a first.
The good thing is,
I'm sorry, just to answer Eddie, and I'll throw it over to you, So, when was the last time Hal Steinbrenner went on Twitter to acknowledge the fans? I'm actually as Yankee fan. Steve Cohen does that almost every day, if not every other day. Acknowledges the fans. He answers the fans back. It doesn't matter if you got 10 followers or over 100,000 followers. He is going to answer you back. Go ahead, Sels.
You know
and
what?
Jerry Cadell, hold on. Jerry Cadell in the chat said, "The boy Eddie, you're amazing. 13 years old and killing it. Keep it up, kid." Absolutely, he definitely is.
I think we're looking at it the wrong way, guys. Hear me out. We should be grateful that we're not hearing anything from this front office. I know, I'm talking crazy. Here's why. You ready? When we hear from them, here's what we hear. I don't understand why they're so upset in June. We had big weapons coming back. That big weapon was one guy named Aaron Judge. All right. And then they set him the second night he was back. So you know what? If this is the shit that comes, that comes out of their mouth, then they're doing us a favor by not talking, because we've learned it's all just fluff. It's all just garbage, and it's just things to appease us. They really made that statement back in June saying, I don't know why they're upset, because they were betting on, man, they're going to turn it around. Something's going to happen. In their mind, they still believed, after everything they were watching up until that point, that we still had this hope and dream of all of a sudden everybody, every single person who's slumping, coming together and turning it around. So you know what? Again, I'm on the other side. Thank you for not talking to us. Thank you for not saying anything, because every time you talk, I want to slap the crap out of you.
language. So I want I want to circle it back. Shout out to Kenny Payne. My guy Kenny Payne is in the building, and also we got 57 people who are watching the stream right now. If you guys can, please smack that like button. Let's get up to 50 likes on the streams. Also, if you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We are sitting on 1,099 subs. We just need one more to get to 1,100.
Do it.
Eddie, you want to drop something? Eddie, go ahead.
161 River Avenue said, "I'll give Cohen his props when he wins a ring."
Oh, Jason! He said, "I don't care."
That's a little
Queens.
soft.
Okay.
That's a little soft.
Queens.
Okay.
That's a little soft. Go ahead, Eddie. I'll let you respond before I bring up the next topic.
When the Wilpons owned the Mets in their late era, not when they were 86 World Series champions, they never won again. But besides the point that they never won under the Wilpons besides one time, and because Bill Buckner cannot catch a ground ball.
Way before your time.
Cannot field a ground ball. There is something with Steve Cohen that's different than the mentality that the Wilpons had. Steve Cohen wants to buy, make this team better, win a World Series. He said, next 3 to 5 years, I want this team to win the World Series.
Cares about winning, yes.
Yeah. He wants to use his money. He knows how to use it. He wants to use it. He is he's truly a Met fan. At heart, he's a Met fan. He knows.
That's why one of the first things that he did was have a Keith Hernandez night. How many years have Met fans been asking for the Wilpons to retire Keith Hernandez jersey number?
It would never happen.
Exactly.
Steve Cohen is probably the best thing to happen to the Mets in a long, long, long time.
I agree.
Yeah, but guess what, Eddie? You get to enjoy that, right? Because I have a mother who's in her 60s and who's a diehard Met fan who only got Steve Cohen over the last couple of years. So just be grateful that you weren't coming up when it was the Wilpons and Doubleday, right? But I want to bring this up and I want to get Eddie in on the conversation because he is a Met fan. And I know, Celso, you may hate this, but people to chat, let me know also. Did acquiring Giancarlo Stanton, did that set the Yankees back? When it comes to Giancarlo Stanton, my guy Fostan on Twitter, you see he got the Buck Showalter icon. Giancarlo Stanton is the worst player in Major League Baseball right now.
Celso got mad.
The last time he got on base or got a base hit, especially when it mattered. I'm gonna start off with you, TC. When it comes to Giancarlo Stanton, since he became a Yankee, he has a 249 batting average, 464 hits, 125 home runs, 334 RBIs, but that contract is bloated. He is often on the IL. Did acquiring Giancarlo Stanton set us back as an organization?
I want to say yes, but I don't think it's all Stanton. I think he's had some great moments with us. The first couple of years we had him, he's some dramatic home runs. It's just, between last year and this year, it's just, you can see he's slowing down with the bat. His legs are just not right. He just can't run anymore. And it looks like it's a terrible contract, but we all knew that with the length of the contract when he was signed, we knew this was going to happen this part of his career. So did we pass up on some guys like Bryce Harper? Yes. That probably, having Bryce Harper right now would have looked a lot better than having Stanton right now. But as a Yankee fan, I don't think he's the worst player in baseball or in the majors right now. I still enjoy seeing him hit. He does hit some mammoth home runs. Yes, he can't run, but he's still, worth watching in at bat.
Mm-hmm. So what's your thoughts on it? And let's get Eddie's take as well.
I know it's not Friday.
And I hate to do it to you, bro. I hate to do it to you, bro.
It's right. I know it's not Friday.
I know you got that man crush. I'm sorry.
I know it's not Friday. But to say, was Stanton the worst player in MLB? Get yanked. I'm sorry, not the worst player. Is it a setback? Yes. But again, it's where we're at right now to look at it, right? Those first 2 or 3 seasons that we were with him and we would have capitalized on our so-called window and made better moves around it, then yeah. But again, we're now watching our entire team just crumble, and Stanton looks horrible. And yes, as the guy who has the Stanton man crush, for the record, 7 games, and all 7 that I've been to with Stanton there, he's hit a home run. So he obviously has a man crush right back. Just saying. Yep. But I don't think he's the worst in baseball, but it does suck. The contract, we knew it from the day we got it. It was a crazy contract. We knew, and what were we all saying when we first did it? Oh, we'll worry about that down the road. We'll worry about it later because we felt like it was going to be such an epic piece for us. But here we are now with a window that is shut, guys. So it's easy to sit here and say Stanton's the worst in baseball. LeMahieu's garbage. Rizzo is trash. Yeah, they all are playing garbage. They're all aging out right in front of our eyes. But I'm sorry, I can't sit here and say he was the major piece that set us back.
Yeah, I'm going to just remind you guys that Stanton was picked up by the Yankees the year after he hit 59 home runs. Right. So they were expecting him to be in that same form. He still went out and hit 38. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. But it's not the same as what he would have done when he hit 59. And I think where he's at right now, well, 2019 and 2020 were injury years for him. Did not play a lot of games. He played 18 and 23. So that's under 50 games combined. So 19 and 20 doesn't even count. But back to 2020. No, not. What am I looking at?
But
back
even,
to 2021.
Hold on, Eddie, just because our next get just popped up, he's backstage. And the only thing that I would say against the Giancarlo Stanton trade is the fact that he was a carbon copy of the player that we had on our team that won Rookie of the Year, right? So for me, right, you already had Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge was already a right fielder. Stanton was just an older version of Aaron Judge. And when it comes down to it, it seems like in his prime, Aaron Judge did put up a better season. When you look at Aaron Judge's last year compared to Giancarlo Stanton's MVP season, Aaron Judge did have a better year when you look at both peaks, right? So just hold on 1 second because we got to bring in our guy, Mr. Scott Braun. Scott, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you're good backstage, ready to rock. Here he is. My guy, Scott. What you do, brother?
How we doing?
Scott?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I know it's crazy for you guys right now just because of the trade deadline and everything that's going on. You came in on the conversation we was having about Giancarlo Stanton. So I want to start it off with you, broski. Did the Yankees acquiring Giancarlo Stanton, in your opinion, set the franchise back? Or handcuff them, I should say?
But you got to think about this. You guys hearing me?
Yeah, yep. Perfect.
Okay, cool. Sure, it's had its pros and cons, right? There's been times when Stanton's gotten hot as hell and helped them in the playoffs, okay?
Yep.
I'm not going to put all of the blame on one freaking ball player who, while expensive, is on the Yankees. You know what I'm sick of more than anything this year? Hearing about money from Yankee fans. I'm like, why are we talking about money? Now, there was a good point brought up by Eric Kratz on Foul Territory today when we were streaming. He said it's, in his mind, not so much the Steinbrenners trying to mess around with the luxury tax number at times and make it more of a conversation than it should be. It's that they hate giving that money to the profit team that just grab the profit sharing, throw it in their pocket like the Pirates, and it's just hard for them to give them that money knowing that they're not putting it into the sport. They're just putting it into their family's pockets, right? My argument is the Yanks are making plenty of money. So the point is Giancarlo's contract should not be why the Yankees are being held back from doing anything. To me, it's just poor front office moves that are being made over and over. The Donaldson move, even though it's for a much shorter period of time, hurts them much more. Volpe on the short term not being an instant star definitely hurts them because they sat out the last few free agent shortstop races because they said they're going to wait for Volpe. Okay, well, if I'm the Yankees, I don't wait for anything if you're trying to contend every year. So for me, to an extent, but the biggest problem with Giancarlo, of course, we know is that he gets hurt a lot. And now it looks like he's had a lot of problems on the bases when he's running. We've all seen that. But at the same time, that's not where I'm going to place all of my blame when I'm looking at this entire roster right now. It's not a good ball club. There's a lot of guys aging in their mid-30s at the same time hitting decline periods. And for them, the other thing is they take too long to give up on players. I know that drives every Yankee fan crazy because they should be saying, this isn't working for us, DFA. Who cares? Like Aaron Hicks, let him go play well for the Orioles. That's fine. But Yankee fans wanted it done like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, go ahead,
I just want to say real quick, Scott, I missed you, bro. We haven't been on a panel together in forever.
It's been a minute.
And I love the minute you come up, I have to sit over here to my left to see Stanton strike out as we're talking Stanton.
Yeah. I just saw that.
I walked in the door because now I'm down the shore because I'll be at Todd Frazier's place. Our studio down there will be streaming for about 7 hours for trade deadline. So I just got here.
And that's the ball game.
I'll be hitting the late games and then looking at obviously all the socials and getting ready for our show. But lucky for me, it looks like, because I feel for the Yanks fans, I have not caught most of this. I listened to a little bit on the radio, and it looks like it just ended, huh?
Yep. It definitely just
5-1.
5-1. Can I ask a question actually real quick?
Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead. Before you ask your question, we got 55 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button. And if you have any specific question for our friend Mr. Scott Braun, put it in the chat and we'll highlight it. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, Scott.
Okay, thank you. So my question is, what happened to Domingo Germán tonight? Because our text group, we have a text group with all of our Foul Territory hosts, right? So it's like Brzezinski and Todd Frazier, Lorenzo Cain, Jason Kipnis, on and on, right? And they're like, wait, Germán couldn't start, but then he comes in relief for 5 innings. Great. That's awesome. Nice contribution. But like, could have used you as a starting pitcher. What changed in 5 seconds?
You know what happened last night? And I'll throw it over to Soso to come after me. Domingo Germán, I heard through the rumors that he got seasons of Saturday Night Live, right? So what he was doing last night was he was watching the special where she put her arms under her armpit.
Oh yeah,
she's like superstar. So that's what Domingo Germán was doing last night, and he scratched himself in the armpit apparently.
But he's a quick healer from that, clearly, right?
Yeah. No, honestly, all jokes aside, maybe he was supposed to be involved in a trade. I know they brought it up on the broadcast and it just probably fell through at the last minute. Or maybe he did feel something in his armpit. I just don't know. It was just weird for us. We were told he can't start because he's injured. Then we're losing the game. Then you decided to bring him in. Go ahead, Sos.
Well, I was going to say, Scott, feel free to include me on that text thread anytime. I mean, that sounds like a killer text group. No, I mean, again, the grumblings, as much as we want to read into Twitter or whatever, X, whatever it is now, most of the reports are, was he in a trade talk? And did they pull it? And it didn't happen, so they brought him in, and Burrito sucked. And, at the end of the day, it's still a loss. What'd you say?
They made him lie about his pits?
Yeah.
I just thought it was the weirdest one, my armpit. Okay.
Where'd they come up with that?
Stretching it if you have to lie like that to be like, yo, we might have a trade, so let's make something up.
Yeah.
It hurts.
What it was like, listen, Yankee fans are killing us because we love Taylor Swift. We can't let them know that Domingo Germán has an obsession with Saturday Night Live. So that's what it was. It came down from the front office just so Yankee fans don't kill him on Twitter.
AJ Brzezinski went on the Phantom DL at the time once. I believe it was with the Braves. And he said on our show that he asked them if he could have it be released that he has anal fissures.
Yeah,
they declined. They said, no, we're going to make up our own injury for you. So it was great insight into some of the BS injuries that get created by organizations.
Yeah. Scott, I want to circle it back just because Eddie is with us and Eddie's about to get out of here. He's a diehard Met fan. I want you guys to go back and forth. But Scott, what's your take on what the New York Mets did when it came to eating that money from Matt Scherzer, Steve Cohen waving the white flag, and turning Matt Scherzer into a top 50 prospect in Acuna? What's your thoughts on that? And I'll throw it over to Eddie to respond. Go ahead, Scott.
Eddie, I love it because the Mets are being very definitive. First of all, we all know this is not a playoff team this year, right? There's actually a lot of teams that are fooling themselves right now, like the Angels and Cubs, that are going to set themselves back. The thing is, and I have many very direct friends and probably more connected with the Mets than any other ball club. They want to be the Dodgers. They are far from that as an organization, but they are much closer to that than they were when the Wilpons owned the team. And the reason is the Dodgers put resources into everything they have. Also, when you buy a team, there are hundreds of employees that were run by your last organization that were brought in by ownership and many in Mets ownership who would be like, oh, Jeff Wilpon would be like, oh, it's my Michigan buddy. Like, let me hire him and he can hire all these people. It takes years to clear that up and reset as a franchise, especially when it was being run so poorly. So this is all part of a process. You can put Band-Aids on things by buying pitchers like Scherzer and Verlander, but when they're not pitching like ones all year, you're not going to make the playoffs. So that's what's happening right now. And instead of sitting around and waiting and not being definitive, this team is picking up prospects. And so Steve's going, okay, I'm going to outspend people by essentially buying prospects and getting rid of contracts. And in the offseason, I can retool because they're not scrapping it all now. This isn't like in the Washington Nationals, Eddie, where you have to go through now another their fans are going through a probably 4 to 5 year cycle of pain and nothingness and not spending money in rebuilding. The Mets are trying to do this on the fly. So love Acuna as the pickup. Verlander, I would imagine, is going to get dealt over the next 24 hours. Obviously, all the rental guys are going to get dealt, and they're stacking up a farm system that needs a lot of work. They had a little bit of top heaviness to it, like an Alvarez, but it's not a deep farm system. Beatty, a few guys, but when you look at the Dodgers, it's such a deep group. When you go down there in the organization, even despite all of the winning that they do, that's the culture they're trying to create. So this is the year that they do it, and then they'll spend a bunch in the offseason again.
Yeah. What I was thinking about Verlander is maybe they wouldn't trade him because they would have to go retool the entire pitching staff in the offseason. But now I think that's going to happen anyway because of what happened with Scherzer. And now who else do they have to pitch for them? And even the bullpen. Robertson's gone now. Diaz is going to be back next year, but that's only a closer. You need all those middle of the rotation guys. You need, I don't know, there's so many good guys that they can go pick up in the offseason. And if Steve Cohen's willing to spend the money, then I'm all in. It's whatever. But I think that what they need to focus on first now is their pitching. Obviously, they need to go out and get some decent starters. Now, maybe Aaron Nola. Blake Snell would be nice too. Just some of the guys that I can name off the top of my head. Wainwright's a free agent, but he's probably going to hang up the cleats. Zach Greinke also a free agent. Again, you don't know when
you don't want them, Eddie. Trust me. Greinke will retire in a year or two. Waino's retiring. Let me ask you this, and great names that you brought up. Nola, yes, and you're bringing up a pretty deep pitching class, starting pitching. Nola, yes. Blake Snell, yes. Julio Urias has had a rough year, but I'd buy that. Okay, I think he's been a little hurt this year. So let me ask you this: do you ever have any concerns that Uncle Steve's going to buy? What? You're hesitating? He spent more this year than anybody ever.
Wait, I didn't even hear the question. I didn't fully hear the question.
No, the question. So you're saying, are the Mets going to spend to retool the pitching staff in the offseason? What do you think? Yeah, of course. If you're a Mets fan, the one good thing is, even though the team's had a down year and they didn't buy the right pieces, and I have issues with how some of the front office is being run, I think they still need a leader at the top, which they're looking for. But Eddie, the one great thing for Mets fans, because I have most of my family as Mets fans as well, so I help them with therapy sessions. They're going to spend. They're going to spend until Uncle Steve sells the team, hopefully never. So this is a great way to run an organization because he's buying prospects while they suck, and then they're going to go for it again next year.
But I feel like what usually happens is the Mets try to pick up big names off the market like Scherzer and Verlander, and they don't pitch as expected. Well, the Rays can put together a team that is where they are right now, top of the AL and one of the best teams in baseball. They've fallen off a little bit, but they're still up there, still one of the best teams in baseball. It's unbelievable how they don't have that many. Wander Franco, they have. That's really about it in the superstar category. Tyler Glasnow is a great pitcher for them. Just some of the more notable guys. And then they have guys like Jose Siri. They have guys like Lau who go out and play good baseball while not being big names. So I wish the Mets could do that and not just pick up the biggest names on the market and actually think about the guys that they're buying into based on talent and not really based on how well known they are. Because with Scherzer this year, I mean, he was much, much better last year. But what happened this year is it's taken a big toll on the Mets. And I feel like if they can go out and get guys for I'm not even saying for lesser price because Steve Cohen's willing to spend his money and we know that, but not just the biggest names on the market because it usually doesn't work out. So I'd like them to maybe take a deeper dive and go and get guys that actually play good baseball instead of the biggest names on the market. So I really think where the Mets are right now with the superstars, it doesn't work out.
Yeah,
Hold
so
on, just
the way that you do that, if you're if you want to be like the Rays, and like let's remember that I'd rather be like the Dodgers first of all than the Rays. The Rays have been great lately, but yeah, they turn their team over. There's you're right, not a lot of superstars. I want the marketability of the Dodgers. Like I'll take those little great moves like the Rays do, but I'd also still like to root for a Mookie Betts and a Freddie Freeman franchise cornerstone. So there's a formula to this. One is you draft better, you have better prospects. That's what the Mets are working on right now. Two is you have a better development system. That's what they're going through. Tons of turnover in that organization the last few years. Three is all of the moves, including the trades that you make, because the Rays always do well in that department. Well, the Mets need a front office leader. So Billy Epler, not my guy. David Stearns is my guy. So in the offseason, they need a guy like that who makes consistent, shrewd moves and can also know what he's doing when he has more resources to spend. So you'll get there, but it's taken some time, and they tried to put some Band-Aids on it, and it didn't work out.
If I can, real quick, I just want to shout out the chat real quick. We got 90 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button. I want to shout out David Elias, who just joined the conversation. David Elias, how you doing, my guy? Hope all is well. Also, we got Samantha T, who's in the building. Samantha T, hope all is well. CP, the NY Sports Pod, is in the building. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you guys can, smack that like button. We got one of our co-hosts, one of our hosts from The Pipe, which is our you can say prospect show that we have here on the channel, Scott. So I want to bring up our friend Julian to have this conversation. Eddie, my guy, appreciate you like always. Keep
see you in a little bit, Eddie.
Make sure you guys tune in to the Rookie Podcast on the channel, and also follow the Rookie Podcast on YouTube. Help them get their subscribers up. Like always, Eddie, my guy, appreciate you, big dog. Have a good night, doggy. And if I can, I want to bring up Julian.
Hey, Julian.
Julian. Like I said, he host of The Pipe, who covers the Yankees prospects. He works exclusively like with Scranton Wilkes-Barre, Scott. So he goes to a lot of the AA games, some of the AAA games. So I just want to bring this up because we see all the trade rumors that's going around. Yankee Twitter is going crazy saying Yankees to sell the team. Scott, if you were Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner was your best friend or your friend that you could text like you're texting right now, would you have the conversation of trading Gerrit Cole?
Gerrit Cole? Why are we trading Gerrit Cole?
I'm just bringing it up. Because Yankee fans on Twitter are just going crazy about how the team should sell at the trade deadline. I'm not a fan of it.
Gerrit Cole signed up for years, and he's still in his prime, pitching like a 1. What are they trying to clear money? Are they worried about the Steinbrenners not, how many votes they have? What's the problem here? That would be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That would be like some of the dumb WFAN hosts that don't watch baseball. I would throw something out there. What kind of ask is that? Why? Please respond again and tell me why you'd want to trade Gerrit Cole right now.
Okay, so the show's over. The show's over. Scott just killed the messenger. No,
they're speaking from Cole's point of view.
You want to scrap it all down and rebuild for the next 6 years and tank like, I don't know, the Orioles just did for the last 6 years with the generation of fans? No, you're not trading Gerrit Cole. If you're the Yankees and you were in sell mode, you'd be trading guys that are mostly rentals, maybe another year of control. Like you can sell me on trading a Gleyber Torres, but Gerrit Cole is a 1 who pitches well in the bright lights of New York, which also is not easy to do. Hell no. And he's not 39 years old. What? No, stop.
I like what Medina said. He said, those can't be Yankees fans. Those are casual fans. Exactly. I'm sorry. I can't see any real Yankee fan saying, hey, this guy who, debatably a Cy Young award winner this season, the way he's been pitching lights out. Granted, he has a team that's wasting an entire season of him, but the man has been lights out. Anybody that's uttering the words, let's trade Gerrit Cole, you know what? At this point, just unsubscribe to this channel.
That's a Red Sox spy.
Here's the thing.
That's a Red Sox spy.
And then people are talking about the opt-out, but the Yankees can just get him another year if he opts out. So that's a non-factor too. That's just a ridiculous thing. Yankees Twitter is outrageous, but that's the dumbest thing I've heard in a long time. The Yankees have a lot of issues, but Gerrit Cole's the last issue the Yankees have.
For real.
No, 100%. And then when you look at it, and Scott, the only reason why I was asking this just because, like I said, fans on Twitter was going crazy. But when you look at what Gerrit Cole has done here ever since becoming a Yankee, look at the past 30 years. There's probably one starting pitcher that we acquired via free agency that you could say is, all right, he was an ace just like Gerrit Cole. And that's CC Sabathia. Gerrit Cole, since becoming a Yankee, has made every start for us since donning the pinstripes. He hasn't been on the IL. He's someone who's not scared to go out there and pump 100 miles per hour when it's the 7th inning. He doesn't care if he has to throw over 100 pitches. Gerrit Cole is that guy, like Scott Braun said. And for you Yankee fans that are on Twitter losing your mind, you're just the casuals, right? You're not the diehards. Go ahead, Scott.
You sold me before. I mean, you didn't even need to say anything. There's nothing else to say. I mean, we're smart. Everyone, we're smarter than that. You can bring anything. I don't want to like turn anyone down, and you don't have to watch every inning of everything. But at the same time, like for any ball club, even if you're quote rebuilding, if you have a player, you know, locked up in a contract for years, or sure, okay, it's got an opt out. But again, it's the Yankees, and he likes what he's doing. You're going to keep him. You don't trade a guy like that away. Also, he wouldn't be coming back. You'd be looking for that same guy in free agency. So we're not doing that. This is different from the Mets conversation. When we're talking about pitchers that are clearly showing decline this year and a Mets team that can retool in the offseason by buying. And also, you have to decide, like for the Mets, they made a very clear-cut decision that they are selling. They have assets to sell. For the Yankees, I don't think they're in sell mode. And we know that they don't have a lot to sell, but I don't think they're selling players away right now. I don't know what their plan is and what they're going to do, but that's not the move.
They have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, this is an absolute dumpster fire. And heck, we know it's not coming from you. Yankees Twitter is just something else. You wouldn't ask such an outrageous question if it wasn't
definitely not
someone else. But I mean, you can make a case to sell some expiring contracts, but it's not going to be anything crazy. I don't think this team's really worth buying into so much right now. And the options are really limited, too. It feels like all the good guys are gone. And, like, you're not going to get Bellinger because he's staying. So the Yankees are in a really bad spot. It's like they're stuck in the middle of buy and sell. You can make a case for both. That's why people are even saying mix it up and do a little bit of both. But it doesn't seem like much is really going to happen. I'm not too optimistic, really.
I just want to acknowledge the super chat that we just got real quick. $5 super chat from David Elias, who said $85 million in 4 toxic contracts. The Rays spent $85 million beefing their scouting, development, and coaches. The O's, the Orioles, they spent $60 million. Analytics, it's only a tool. Like Hal Steinbrenner, it's only a tool. When you look at it, right? And he brings up contracts, which is important to bring up. $85 million sunk into Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Rizzo, Josh Donaldson, and DJ LeMahieu. Those 4 guys were supposed to be the heart of our lineup, the middle of the lineup to protect Aaron Judge. Collectively, all 4 of those players are having the worst season of their career at the same time. That's why the Yankees are in the position that we are in right now. It's because all 4 of them who were supposed to be Judge's accomplices when trying to make the postseason have not been able to come through. But just hold on one second. We got one of our guys who's backstage we want to bring up to the conversation. Our brother, Mr. Pete Simonetti from NYYNewsTV. Pete, what it do?
Up, Pete? What's going on, man? How you guys doing? I just called the Yankee game, so I guess how I'm doing.
I know.
So wait, can I ask a question here, Pete?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I had to log out when it was the 8th inning because we started the stream here, so I left your chat. Did we already get a NYY News Pete Simonetti rant after the game yet?
A little bit, not too much, to be honest.
I'm ranted out. I think.
Look how pale I am right now. You know how tough this is. I am like this close to just being in the coffin with this team right now. Tough. So this is me right now. This is
I think they're in the coffin too, honestly.
Yeah, they're gonna join. I'm just gonna jump right in with them. Like I always say, I'm gonna go down with the ship. I'm just jumping in there.
We're riding it out. Unfortunately, we don't really have much of a choice, but.
Hey, Pete, didn't the Yankees just break a record? 30 strikecoughts in 2 games? Isn't that something?
To be honest, it's so bad. I was rooting LeMahieu struck out because I wanted to break some sort of record.
You just want to feel something, right?
I want to feel something. I was screaming. I'm at the screen going, come on, please strike him out. It's 2 pitches. I said, I'll hit it in the air to center field.
But even with the 30 strikeouts in 2 games, at least they're battling. Right, at least
they're making them work.
Right, they're making them work. Right, they're working the pitchers. Right.
Keep a straight face when you said it. I'm sorry.
We went off on that quote today. Can I get what did you
guys saw that?
Say? So I brought up that maybe he was joking. You know, like maybe
he's trolling,
was throwing shade at his players in the front office, and go afterward, high fives his fam or his friends, and he's like, "Yo, did you hear that quote I pulled off?" Because obviously, Yo, we struck out basically the entire game, but like we had 9 okay quality at bats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
it's Scott. It's getting to the point that anytime Aaron Boone is doing a post-game press conference, I get secondhand embarrassment from watching the guy. Right, that's what it's come to right now, because you'll have 2 or 3 weeks ago, he'll make a statement about players hustling and this, that, and the third, and you're like, that's the worst quote from any post-game press conference. And every day he's like, nope, hold my beer, I'm going to trump that. And I'm going to say struck out 18 times, but at least we were still battling, right?
I don't even want to look at what's going to be said today. I'll come across it on Twitter, but I'm just not interested. It really doesn't matter. Like, the quotes are just comical at this point. It's just making it worse. It's not doing any good.
I will say this. So I've been on quite a few Yankee shows lately. You need to look further up. Like, it's fun, sure, to make fun of Boone because he's got to speak all day, every day, but he did not make the roster. He does not do the call-ups. He doesn't even really do the lineup, most likely, right? That all comes from the front office. And
that comes from ChatGPT, the way it changes every day.
Set lineup.
Is Cashman's staff. You got to look at Cash and you got to look at Hal. That's who should be getting 98% of the blame. Because guess what? I don't name 100%. A manager, any manager of all time. He could be dead or alive. Plug him in. The record's basically the same.
I don't think
it's much different.
And maybe we got a big enough sample size. And I'm gonna say this real quick. I'll throw it over to Peter right after. We got a big sample size to see what Brian Cashman has done since 1998 till now. I'm gonna just say this one thing, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but since 2010, Scott, players that the Yankees have drafted and developed, we are in dead last place when it comes to WAR. Wins above replacement on players that we have drafted and developed, we are in last place.
So who drafts
Baseball?
And develops?
Brian Cashman. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Brian Cashman.
Not in charge of that at all. So no,
exactly.
I just want to hear, because like I get it, right? Like it's easy to pin shit on Cashman right now.
Yeah.
Dude's got fire. Like I want a manager that's getting kicked out of games when my team sucks. So you plug someone else in. If it's this system at the top, he's going to be told what the lineup is. It's going to be the same roster. It's going to be the same call-ups. It's going to be the same analytics and all the bullshit that people don't like, and the little tip that's clearly going on where they've had the dudes, the computer nerds, making decisions for a long time, and they're trying to put Band-Aids on this with, let's bring in Sean Casey, let's announce Brian Sabian and Omar Minaya in the offseason, let's like sprinkle some old school in.
Andy Pettit.
That's not how it works. It's called new GM refresh. No GM should be running a front office for more than a decade. Theo Epstein, who's a legend, says that himself. Cash has been doing this for 26 years. It should be clap it up. This should have been a long time ago, a change. It just should have. Like, I would tell that to Cash if I'm sitting down with him. I'd be like, dude, you've been in the same spot for a quarter century. That's freaking crazy. Like, it's time to give someone else a shot.
Yeah, congratulations. You've grown stale. Time to move on.
Yeah. They can reassign him. He doesn't need to be, he doesn't need to be fired. He can reassign him to another position.
Over 28 years, Scott, since 98, the only players that he has drafted that became a superstar or an all-star has been Aaron Judge. Brett Gardner was good for one solid season, was an all-star. But outside of that, Robinson Cano was an international free agent signing. You didn't draft him, right? And even when you drafted Aaron Judge, he fell in your lap. You drafted another player before him. You got that pick from the Guardians because of Nick Scherzer signing for them. So even when it comes to right moves, it falls in your lap, and you make the move by accident. You don't do it on purpose. This is all accident. When we got Luke Voigt, and Luke Voigt came out of nowhere for a couple of seasons and was a solid player. The only reason we got Luke Voigt is because we traded Chasen Shreve and Gallegos to the Cardinals for international signing money because we missed out on Juan Soto when he was a 16-year-old international free agent, right? We used that money to sign Jason Dominguez. So even the moves that you make, it's by accident that they turn out to be good. Pete, go ahead, bro.
Right.
Oh no! I mean, I'm just listening to the call. I'm still kind of stunned by the last couple of games, but no, I mean, Brian Cashman puts the roster together, no doubt about it. I mean, he's a major problem. I've been saying this, for years now. Hal Steinbrenner is not going nowhere. There's nothing you're going to do about Hal Steinbrenner. He's not selling the team. He's not moving. My biggest problem, I guess, when it comes to Boone, I think it's a two-way thing. I think you got to get rid of both of those guys. It needs an entire leadership change. Aaron Boone, whether he's controlling things or not, he can't say the things he says. I mean, New Yorkers look for accountability, and you can't not be accountable here. Just get out. Get out. And on top of that, too, just the quotes he said with the, I felt like it was bullying. You're a grown fucking man. Cut this shit out. You're a major league manager saying you got bullied by an umpire. I want to go play for you after that. You're quoting Taylor Swift lyrics all day long. I want to play for you after that. I mean, get out. What did you do? And then on top of that, you're sitting there saying, guys don't run balls out. They're getting thrown out when a ball is in front of them at second base. These are little league stuff. And what does he do? Nothing. The guy's back out there the next day. So we can sit here all day and go, it's this guy's that guy. It's his job to at least hold these guys accountable. If you're not making the lineups, fine. Hold these players accountable. There's a great quote by who's the manager in Arizona. I read a great article about him, Torre Lovullo, yeah. He had a great quote. He said, I was going out. I wasn't going to be the manager. I knew I was on my way out. I decided to hold these guys accountable and ask them to be better every day. What happened? They got better this year. I'm not saying that guys just don't perform better, but there got to be a level of accountability. We've seen a slapping on the wrist with Aaron Boone for far too long. He'll sit there and argue with people. Hey, IKF's the best shortstop in baseball. And you're like, what are you talking about? And I know there's a part of sticking up for your players. I get it. I get that all day. You're not going to trash guys. Understandable. But my God, you got to be a little accountable. And somebody should take them on a course like through the Bronx. We don't bullshit. We could see it. We could see it from miles away. Just be accountable.
I will say, though, most managers do the same thing. Like, we can go, and I'll give you...
They sing Taylor Swift all day? I didn't see that. I don't see that much.
I'm not speaking to the Taylor Swift lyrics. You got me there. Although he did sing Taylor Swift on Foul Territory. So I'm not
Umbrella.
I play it for every loss. I play it.
I'll give you a very direct example, okay? The Texas Rangers, who have Bruce Bochy, who's doing a great job right now, they fired Chris Woodward. They both did the same thing when they talk about their players. You can look up on the record this year, Bruce Bochy will say Jonah Heim's the best catcher in baseball. Yeah. He's really good. He's one of the best. It's a little bit of a reach to say he's the best catcher in baseball. Chris Woodward in the past, Joey Gallo, this was when he was good. Like, you got to go, 4 years ago or so? Right. Best player in baseball, right? I'd put him up against anyone. And you hear that from managers all the time to pump up their dudes. So my only thing, Pete, is dudes are sensitive. I think Boone think about it. If you had that job, it's like definition of insanity. Every day they roll that lineup out there. They're not making significant transaction moves. They won't even cut loose their mistakes until they basically their cap falls off like a Donaldson. So if you're Boone, I think he's just like, screw it. Today I'm going to say a Taylor Swift lyric, and then I'm going to say, well, we had 9 good at-bats because we struck out the rest. What else does he want? What else can he say? He didn't build the roster. He has no say in that. So I feel bad for him that he has to manage a team that's clearly not good right now and needs a shakeup, and they're rusty, and the game has changed. The Diamondbacks are a really young athletic ball club, and the rules play to a team like that. The Yankees are old. They can't move around the bases. They can't.
So I'm gonna change it up real quick because I know we got Scott just for a couple minutes. So before we let you go, Scott and Pete, I know you got this huge charity stream tomorrow morning kicking off at 7 a.m. Biznatches. Get over to the NYYNews. See me tomorrow 7 a.m. All right, but here's my question, and then we're gonna let you guys roll out. So I'm gonna go Scott, Pete, Julian, TC, and then we're gonna bring in our other guests. Here's my question. For me, if it's not a trade that involves Soto, I don't want to see anything happen from this Yankees front office. Yeah. Do you think the Yankees should be doing anything if it's not Juan Soto, if it's not going to be – because there's nobody in my eyes out there right now that changes anything for us. Great, we get it to a wild card and lose.
Traded. The Padres are going for it. So then, Pete, who else do you want? I mean, and Bellinger's not getting acquired.
Right.
So
the names we talked about are gone.
I've been saying this all day. What I would do, I would be calling teams up saying that Gleyber Torres is Shohei Ohtani. I know, literally, he's Babe Ruth. You want this guy in your team. Whoever you can trade, you got to move. I don't want. Look, let me tell you something real quick. If they get Tommy Pham, it's a slap in the face of every Yankee fan on the planet. It's literally a slap in the face to every single Yankee fan. Don't even get Tommy Pham. Don't do it because it's a complete slap in the face.
Yeah, all of a sudden
trade as much as you can. Trade as much as you can. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only
if
thing
I can,
say.
real quick,
As much as
I just want to acknowledge the chat. We got 197 people in the building. This is an all-time high for the Yanks Morning Brew. If you guys can, smack that like button. We got a $9.99 super chat from my brother, Mr. Rod Thompson, who says, I don't care how many times Boone gets kicked out of a game. It's passive-aggressive BS. This team is a direct reflection of their management and manager. Look how bad they are fundamentally. Bra, appreciate you. David Elias also with the $5 super chat. Cashman has 4 years left. Hal only cares about the bottom line and the luxury tax. As long as that's done, nothing is changing. Trade deadline is the big pooper. I think I wish I had Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo, so I could just insert him on the video. Eddie Crass with the $5 super chat who said, let's go Morning Brew family. And we now got 206 people in the building. Smack that like button as we continue this conversation.
Can you dig it?
Julian, I'm gonna throw it over to you, throw it over to TC, and then we'll let Scott get his last words before we get over here. Get out of here. But when it comes to Juan Soto, Scott already said he's not getting traded. Where do we sit right now, Julian, when it comes to what the Yankees can do?
Well, here's the thing. I think the point you made about the draft was good, but the international prospects kind of help a little bit. But the problem I have is they don't call their guys up in time. Like, they mismanage the farm system terribly. The promotion timeline's way too slow. They don't get the right value when they don't want the guys anymore. But I'll skip off that for a minute. I mean, Tommy Pham is – our left field is so bad that he's a huge upgrade. That's how bad our left field situation is. Tommy Pham would be way better than anything you can put in left field this year. Isn't enough to do anything? No, it's not going to move the needle enough. I mean, the only thing I would do is probably try to get Dylan Carlson, maybe Jack Flaherty, see if you can salvage something with them. That's the only player I have, really.
It's going to cost a lot. I would save your prospects.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
If you are going to lose some guys in Rule 5, though, you can't keep everyone. They're going to have to cut some guys regardless.
I would absolutely trade for Tommy Pham, okay? You know why? He will shit out of Brian Cashman.
There we go. There we go. That's right.
I said that earlier, Scott. I said that earlier.
George would be disgraced with the way this team is being run right now. You don't cut players loose quick enough. Yes, you don't call them up quick enough. You're not acting like the big bad team even in your own city, even though that team sucked this year. You get outspent by the freaking Mets. You make way more money than them. You're a freaking disgrace from top to bottom right now. You're relying on one single individual, maybe two, right? Cole and Judge, to carry a 26-man roster. It's not the NBA. So if you can get Tommy Pham for cheap, I highly recommend him. Because the one thing, you want accountability, Pete? Nobody tells it like it is like Tommy Pham. He is the best freaking interview. He says he'll go there, and I promise you, if he's there for a few weeks and they still suck, which is most likely, right? He's going to be like, this team sucks. And let me tell you why, right? Like, he'll come in and tell it like it is. He'll say it even in the clubhouse. And guess what? No one will come at him. Why? Because he'll kick their ass.
Yeah. One of my favorite interviews that you guys have done on Foul Territory is having a conversation with Tommy Pham. When he slipped up and cursed, he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and you was like, "No, this is what it's for. You can do that here. I'm just let it rip. Boom, 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 bleep, bleep, bleep."
We revealed a new little item last year. It was part of the reason why, like, it was part of our recruiting process with Foul Territory TV. We were like, the Pham versus Jock thing was nuts. We knew all these parts about it behind the scenes that didn't even come out. So Pham comes on. It's like one of the first few days of the show. And he's like, yeah, I was sending warnings to Jock, which no one knew. Like, he was telling him, he was like, I'm telling you, dude, if you show up on the field, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. So some people,
no safe space here.
Like, you're soft about a fantasy team, but at least he's honest. He's a little crazy, but actually that's a guy I want on my side. I want him for fight. He'll talk. He's a decent ball player. He's a role player, right? That's why. For the Yanks right now, they need so much more than that. But dude's fun. I love him. He's one of my favorites.
Tommy Pham, he's the embodiment of fuck around and find out. So I'm gonna throw it over to you. So go ahead, bro.
Well, thanks for selling me on it, Scott. I'm okay now. Let's go get Tommy Pham just so we can slap the shit out of people. Scott, thank you so much, bro, for coming to hang out with us. Everybody in the chat, thanks, you already know how we all support Foul Territory. Go give them the sub. Go check them out. They've got a lot of content. Always amazing stuff. Scott, love you, bro. Hope we're hooking up September. And I'll see you soon, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Scott, if you can, Scott, I just want to say before you go, I would love to get you hooked up with Julian and Sandy, because like I said, they cover the Yankees prospects and just prospects in general. I think that would be a good conversation. And I just want to say, Scott, you have been amazing in the Yankee space, because it doesn't matter if somebody has 1,000 subscribers or 100 subscribers. You take your time out and you acknowledge and you engage with almost every Yankee content creator that's out there, or just content creators in general. So I just want to say, Scott, that means a lot. There's a lot of gatekeepers in this industry that when it comes to content creators, and you are one of them. Scott, my guy, I just want to give you your flowers for that, brother.
I appreciate that. It's genuine. And I will say this, because I worked for MLB for a long time. I couldn't do any of that stuff, so now I feel unleashed, where I can actually say it like it is. I was opinionated, but I had a level where I wasn't allowed to go to. You could only go to like a 6 or 7. So now I get to
Scott Braun Unfiltered has been amazing.
Yeah, and also players that I know speak like that, like even Krasinski, who I love, and he same thing. Like on Fox, he's calling a game. You can't go off like this. So I'm like, dude, we need to do this. The whole world, like the whole world is here now, right? They're in digital, social pod, all that.
That's right.
So I love being part of the fam. Love you guys. It was fun to have a little therapy session, and happy trade deadline season. All right.
Appreciate Scott.
Appreciate you,
everybody drop the heart emojis in the chat for Scott, but I'm not letting you off the hook yet, Pete. I'm not letting you off the hook yet, Pete. All right. Before we let you go, please, Pete, please, right now, on this trade pre-deadline special. I know you have a lot coming out tomorrow during your special, but
24
can we get a Pete rant? Because I don't know how the hell you're able to sit here every night and do what you do. Bro, if it wasn't for the MLB News TV fam chat room, okay, that's what keeps me sane during the game. So I know it means so much for you. But the fact that you sit there and have to do this day in and day out and find a way to actually cover this shit show of a team, bro, let it out.
Before Pete goes, Pete, if you can, just give me a few seconds. We got 238 people in the building. We're setting records as we go. 243. I am corrected. If you guys can, please smack that like button. Make sure you follow my guy Julian on Twitter, Pete Simonetti on Twitter, TC Stills, Jiggaman Porto, Yankees Morning Brew. Shout out to my guy Jay Boogie, the Boogie, with a $5 super chat. He said, shout out to the chat. Salute, 3 capital S's to the panel. But I said it earlier in the year. As long as Aaron Boone is here, we're going nowhere. Don't bring him back next year. Jay Boogie, I think we all feel your pain. My guy Jeff J with a $4.99 super chat. Shout out to Pete and the Yankees familiar. Absolutely. I know we got a bunch of guys that are backstage that are waiting to get up. So we'll throw it over to Pete and Julian. We'll have them for a few before we let them go, and we bring up the next round of guys. But Pete, the floor is yours, brother. Clear out your vocal cords and let them have it.
I don't really, I don't know, man. I get where everybody's coming from, Scott, and this and that. The Yankees got major problems. I get that Brian Cashman is a big problem on this team. But to me, that still doesn't take away from the accountability piece, because you don't have to make the lineup, but I'm assuming you got some sort of say to hold this team accountable to a degree, to some sort of degree. And we know that it's obvious Aaron Boone doesn't do that. The Yankees have a roster problem, but even more so, even above the roster problem, they got a complacency problem. They think they're the smartest team in the room. They think they can reinvent the wheel. They don't even know how to build a lineup. The Yankees are so bad right now. They don't even they don't even understand how do you build a lineup. How do you have a speed and on-base percentage up top? Aaron Judge batting third. Somebody good protected him after that. Aaron Judge had an amazing year last year. He had nobody on base. The majority of the year, he had nobody on base. So you look at what this team is building. They sat in front of all of our faces last year and said, well, we got Andrew Benintendi because he puts the ball in play, he's fast, and he's athletic. What did Brian Cashman go do after that? Nothing. Zero. He told us what he was going to do. He did nothing. Hal Steinbrenner every single year says the same thing. I'll go over the luxury tax. Then I got to come in and go, everybody, he's not going to. They won't do it. And what happens every single deadline? He will not go over the luxury tax. This team tells you who they are, and then they also slap you in the face and go, we're a World Series caliber team, everybody. That's exactly what we are. And the proof is in the pudding. This is not a World Series caliber team. This is not a World Series organization. So that stuff needs to go. I want to shout out Bad Dog real quick. He said something really good today. He said the Yankees should take the patch off and just change the whole jersey. Make it all white because they don't deserve the pinstripes. They don't deserve to wear the pinstripes.
They don't.
Mike Francesa also said it. These don't look like Yankee players. He didn't mean by look. He mean by the name and the stats. They're a group of garbage. They're a dumpster fire. This team does not belong playing at Yankee Stadium. And the fact of the matter is that we're talking about adding Tommy Pham, who, whatever, okay, he has a personality, cool. He may be accountable. Great, that's nice. Fact of the matter is, if this team doesn't wake up now and go, it is open book season, take whoever you want, they're never going to change. They'll never get better. Estevan Florial is still dreaming of the major leagues. Poor kid been dreaming of the major leagues since he's 9 years old, and he's still dreaming at 25. Everson Pereira, you're talking about Tommy Pham. The guy's on a 40-man. Just call him up. Well, why make a trade for? Call the kid up and let him play baseball. You got all these other guys on this team. They have no clue at all. And yes, Brian Cashman's a major part. Got to get rid of Cashman. Got to get rid of Boone. Team doesn't make the playoffs. They have a chance to be under 500 this year. I don't think that would shock anybody. But it is what it is, guys. I appreciate it. I got to be up at 7. I'll be up.
Pete, thank you, bro.
Thanks for popping in.
Thank you so much for coming in.
I'll definitely
for the conversation. We definitely gotta. Yeah, we definitely gotta get you and Julian linked up. Go ahead, Julian.
Of course.
Well, no, me and Pete are good friends. We've been talking for a minute. I met him at Somerset last year too, and at the stadium a few times. So it's always been good. We're both realists about the shit show that we're seeing in front of us. So it's just a big embarrassment, honestly. I love the prayer idea 100%. We made a video on why they should call him up weeks ago. Now everyone's starting to get behind it. So I'm always in on that. I mean, the prospects, they should just let the kids play and sell some pieces. That's where I'm at right now. See what Chaparro could do. I don't care. Get his bat in the lineup somehow, even if his defense isn't that great.
Anybody.
At least
anyone.
See what they can do.
At this point, Julian, anyone. But
Pete,
brother,
Wells a shot too. Let's see Wells.
Appreciate you for
September 23rd.
September 23rd. Make sure you guys get your ticket. Make sure you follow my guy Pete Simonetti. He is the brave one doing a 24-hour stream tomorrow. Make sure you guys stop by. Donations will be going to charity, so make sure you guys donate. Pete, my brother, last words before you get out of here.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys possibly, hopping in tomorrow. Game Season Live, guys, has been amazing. Like I said, man, NYY News TV was built for the fans. It was built for you guys. I say it all the time. I don't care about interviewing players. I don't care about interviewing beat writers and this and that. I care about the Yankee fan, and that is it. That is all I care about. It's all I want to do. These guys work with me a lot behind the scenes. Sometimes Hector would tell me, hey, you want to work with this person? And sometimes I tell him, nah, not really. I want to do what I do for you guys, for the actual New York Yankee fan. I want to build a base for you guys. And let me tell you guys something. We are growing quicker than you could even believe, and as much stuff happening behind the scenes.
Better believe it.
You have a place for the real fan. That's why it's called Real Talk for the Real Fan. 24 hours tomorrow. You better believe I'm calling the game tomorrow. I'm calling the damn game the next day too. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you guys for having me on. Much love to each and every one of you. Until next time, guys. Have a great rest of your show.
Definitely, Pete.
We didn't even get to the fact that no, Pete's great. That was a good little segment.
Well, guys, I mean, everybody in the chat, the show is not over. We've got
we got some more.
We got a lot. Go ahead. Lead the way.
Well, before we do that, I'll throw it over to Julian right after I read this, right? But Jeff J with the $9.99 super chat in the building. Cash has no idea how to combine analytics and scouting. Boone is so happy to manage the Yankees. He sold himself and ignores his genetic baseball instincts. The players don't give an F except for AJ and Cole. And now we got Uncle Grandpa Tats, Jason from 161 River Ave. We got Eddie. We got my guy Keith from Shea & Sons. Yeah, buddy. I just want to give a quick second shout out to you fellas. Thank you guys for joining us. Sorry about the timing. We're running a little bit behind schedule, but Jason, thank you for showing up. Uncle Tats as well. Eddie Presti, Keith from Shea & Sons. I'm gonna throw it over to you, Jason. You've been listening to the conversation. How are you feeling with nothing happening at the trade deadline? Go ahead.
If the Yankees have to wear that Star Insurance patch on their jerseys, then Hal Steinbrenner should wear that motherfucker on his suit every single day.
Jason coming in hot.
He's coming in hot.
Slap in the face of the fans. Pay a lot of money to come see his team, right? You know, you got $25 million. What are you gonna do? You're gonna pocket it? Like, this is the thing. And Scott made a good point earlier. You know, I agree with the Yankees don't like sharing with the people who pocket the profits, the revenue sharing. I get that, but you're also getting $25 million a year for the next 8 years in free money, and you're not going to spend it on any of the players at all. Are you serious, dude? Like, this is why I don't put all the blame on Boone, all the blame on Cashman. Even though I think he deserves more blame than Boone. But Hal's got to take some ownership here. He's sitting there up on his ivory tower saying nothing while just collecting the money. That's why he should have that patch on his Buster Poindexter suit, whatever he wears.
I want to throw it over to Uncle Grandpa Tats to get his feeling about the Yankees and their trade deadline or lack of movement. I want to throw it over to Mikey Mazza, and then I want to throw it over to the Mets boys to get their take when it comes to how the Mets have been acting very proactive at the trade deadline. Like I told Eddie earlier, Eddie Cresty, as a Yankee fan, I am jealous of you Met fans right now. You got an owner in Steve Cohen who's not afraid to admit when a mistake has been made and to eat money when you have to eat money. Uncle Grandpa Tats, I'll throw over to you. Make it not rapid fire, but throw it over to Mazza just so we can get the Mets boys on the conversation. Go ahead, Tats.
It's a lack of effort. It's a lack of urgency. I think it's been the biggest issue for the last few years, and it just keeps rolling from a deadline to the off season, back to the next deadline, and it's just the same stupid cycle over and over again. And it's gotten so bad where with the lack of movement, we're getting mad that players are being traded that we didn't even want.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about?
Like Candelario, a good example of that.
Randall Grichuk.
Exactly. Yeah. I said that this morning on my show. Like, Randall Grichuk gets traded, and we lose our minds like he was the guy that we really wanted that was going to save our season. Yeah. That's how ridiculous it is.
No, definitely. Mazza, get your take as well. How do you feel about the lack of movement? And if for you guys know, Mikey Mazza, he's an extra on the new G.I. Joe movie that's being filmed right now. That's why he's in costume and uniform right now. Go ahead, Mazza.
It is a fucking shit show. If they were going to be buyers, they would have bought these guys 3 weeks ago, not wait until the last minute like they always do. This is a joke. How are you going to sit here, tell us you're going to be buyers when we all know you're not? Because you're cheap, you're sitting in your ivory tower, as Jason said. And Pete said it best. They show themselves. They say one thing and do another thing. How can we go to trust upper management when they say one thing and then go ahead and do another thing and slap us in the face? Yankee fans are not stupid. We know what's going on. So it's a load of fucking crap that they're doing this.
A lot of F-bombs is being dropped and a lot of
no. The funny thing, Hector, the funny thing is the F-bombs are coming from the Yankee side. Now watch. Hey, Mets fans, how you feeling?
And this is why I let the Yankee fans go first. I want to throw it over to Eddie. I want to throw it over to Keith. And then Keith's first time on a panel with you, my guy. Appreciate you. Real big fan of your work. You and your brother, you guys are killing it. But Eddie, Keith, and Keys, I want to ask you guys this question. Jacket. When it comes to us Yankee fans, are we over-exaggerating? Are we in our emotions? Are Yankee fans out of pocket to feel the way they are right now? Eddie, I'll throw it over to you, then throw it over to Keith and Keith, and then I want to throw it over to Julian so you guys can talk about the prospects that you did get back and who do Julian think is going to be a surprise out of those prospects. Go ahead, Eddie.
I feel sorry for you guys, honestly. Listening to this for the last 30 minutes, I feel sorry for all of you. It's pathetic. I mean, it is. It's pathetic. You guys sound like Wilpon, Met fans, and nobody's coming to help you guys out. No, nobody. You guys are talking about Tommy Pham like he's going to fucking You're fucked. If Tommy Pham is your answer, you guys are fucked. I feel sorry for you guys, but I kind of don't because you assholes have been rubbing it in my face for like 30 years, so I don't give a shit, so fuck you. Honestly,
who invited this guy?
Honestly, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. But listen, as a Met fan, we're having a terrible season, but at least we got some fucking hope. You guys are fucking lost. I'm sorry.
That's true.
All right, you know what? Throw it to Keith. Keith,
this is content gold right here. Keith, go ahead and throw it over to Keith.
This is amazing. This is better than AA. I gotta give you credit. Genuinely, I didn't think, men's mental health is very important. So shout out to every
yes,
fan.
absolutely.
Shout out to you guys. Listen, I'll speak on my team. We're eating a lot of money to get rid of a lot of players that aren't good. And you know what? Shout out to our owner, our GM. A lot of Met fans will run up in Twitter and tell you, Billy and Epler. Well, hey, find me another Met GM that could do this type of fire sale. This is all we wanted because we knew this team was headed down a path of destruction. So look, if you can somehow move 2 Cy Young Award winners who are making over $40 million and you're eating that type of money just so you can get prospect returns, and our prospect farm has literally flipped in about 3 weeks span. Maybe like a 2-month span, because even Escobar brought back a return. Listen, man, it's gonna suck to say to a lot of Met fans out there, but the path to where we need to be, the stability, because Cohen has mentioned to all the Met fans he wants to be Dodgers East. This is the path, and you know what? You gotta accept it. Let them cook. You know what I'm saying? Be patient. We've been patient long enough. I was not around for the last World Series, so Lord knows I've seen a few World Series where we didn't win. So I got a lot more time in me. But to my Yankee buddies over here, man, listen, listen, gentlemen, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the most realist Met take you're gonna hear about the Yankees. This is not the Yankees that I know. So
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? The Yankees that I know, they the bullies of the park. This is not the Yankees that I know. So I give it to my baby brother who's 10 years younger than me. What's going on, baby brother?
First of all, Keith, you hurt my feelings, bro. Honestly, just now. It felt like the Yankees hurt my feelings, but you just poured salt on the room because I just got a reality check. Keith, go ahead, my guy.
What's going on, fellas? Listen, to echo what Keith is saying. You guys need a prayer right now. I don't know what's gonna fix it. It's a lot of brujeria going on over there.
Santa Maria, Madre de Dios.
Yeah, bro. Y'all need some crystals. Y'all need to clear the air. Y'all mean get some sage going through that Kyrie shit. It's looking bad over there. I'm not gonna lie to you, but as it pertains to us, I'm glad that we're taking it slow, and we kind of doing our thing right now with these trades. So. We'll see what the future holds, but Billy Epler, I was a harsh critic of him, but he showed up the past 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Nah, yeah, definitely. Julian, I want to throw it over to you. Talking about the prospects that the Mets were able to get back, and then I want to circle back to the Yankee boys with Jason, Uncle Tats, and Mazza, and get TC on the conversation. But Julian, when you look at the prospects that the Mets were able to get back, how do you assess that prospect haul? Go ahead, Julian.
I think the Scherzer trade was really good, honestly. I think that's my favorite move the Mets made because Scherzer was absolutely cooked. And the Mets paid for a good prospect. And Acuna's brother is not going to be Ronald Acuna, obviously, but he looks like he's going to be pretty solid. I don't know how he's going to look with the infield configuration as a shortstop with Lindor, but I'm sure they'll figure that out eventually. So I think that was a solid move. The Mark Canada deal seems okay. I mean, he was a free agent to be. You weren't going to get too much to get a pitcher or something for him. And then the other trade they made for David Robertson, that one's interesting. I think it's decent too. I think people are overreacting, saying they get enough back, but it's also a reliever on a 1-year deal. And Robertson's only 36. I mean, he's been solid, but he's not like in his prime or anything. I think that Vargas kid looks like he'd be pretty decent, but they're in the complex league, so we don't know what that's going to look like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing. Before I throw it over to the Yankee guys, I want to shout out Jeff J with another $9.99 super chat. We appreciate all the super chats that you guys are giving to the channel. It helps us grow the channel. You see, we added the Mets guys. We got a lot of new shows that are coming down the pipeline over here on Morning Brew Sports. Also, if you guys can, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to Jason161. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to Dugout Station, Uncle Tats with the Pinstripe Chronicles, Mikey Mazza with the 4-Train Express, Saying Sons for our guys Keith and Keys. Make sure you guys go support and subscribe to Jimmy Nolan, and make sure you guys tune into Eddie Presti over here when it comes to the Mets Evening Brew and the Eddie and Smitty Show. But I want to get your take, Jason. You heard all the Mets guys. You heard that smoke, Jason. What's your thoughts on it? And then throw it over to Mazza and then Tats. I mean, to Tats and Mazza. And then let's get TC in on the conversation. Go ahead, Jason.
Shout out to the Mets for being ballsy and fearless. And shout out to the Mets fans for riding with them through it. So, give it to you guys. I feel like we need an ointment. We need that ointment. Yankee fans right now. The butt ointment, right?
Holy water.
We're feeling that butt hurt right now. It's unfortunate, but it's true. But right. But again, it was a great point too. The Yankees used to be the Bulls. That's a fantastic.
I'm going to make a comment. It's going to alarm everyone.
Because I think it helps us, gives us more perspective too. Because it makes us realize it's not the team that we have been spoiled with for decades. So, and we are spoiled no matter what anybody says. We're pissed off that we're not enjoying the spoils right now, but it is what it is, you know. But again, you know, the Yankees could still make some moves. I know. I mean, Soto. I mean, I'm with Jigga. I'm Soto or bust, right? So if you're gonna go for Soto, you try to go for the gusto. I don't want the gust. I want the gusto. I want both of them. So you go for Snow. You try to get as much as you can. And if you can't, I think another reality with the Yankees, they haven't traded anybody yet, meaning they haven't lost a single prospect. So if you do a trade, let's just say, you know, they said today they want a left fielder and catcher and third base, right? Let's say you get Ryan McMahon from the Rockies. Okay. It's lefty and Elias Diaz. You upgrade in those two positions. And even if you overpay, that's nothing close to overpaying for a Lars Nootbaar or some of these other Cardinals players. So you can still get some value back. But I say it's going to be solve all the problems? Absolutely not. But the fact is, the Yankees have a lot of holes that they need to fill. And we have 24 hours to do it. If Cashman somehow does it, he'd be a miracle man. But I don't really have the confidence that I did before in his ability to do it in 24 hours. So, but
Well, Jason, I think my thing too, you know, and it goes for everybody on the panel because Mets can talk about it as well. It's when you get so close to the deadline and you haven't made a move, and all the names that you were talking about there, we all start going into that backup plan, right? Oh, well, so and so's there. Oh, like if you know you're a shit show of a team like the Yankees are this season, you know that the best chance you have is maybe getting into the wild card to get spanked anyways. Why are we okay? Anybody, period, sitting there saying, well, you know what? Yeah, let's at least make a move. And that's why I'm so big on the if Soto really was available, yes, you're showing me as a fan that you're making a move that down the road, next season we can focus on, not a full rebuild, but enough pieces to come in to pick up the dead weight we have now. So I'm really tired with, let's go Yankees, make a move. What freaking move is going to excite you?
There is no move.
If I can real quick, I just want to shout out a few people that are in the chat. Lena, who is in the building, who says, I found this channel tonight watching Jason. I'm glad that I did. Lena, welcome to the family. If anyone that's in the chat, if this is your first time in our chat,
yo, how weird is this, bro?
Put it in the chat so we can welcome you to the familiar. What's up? Oh, that's crazy.
My daughter's name is Lana. So if you're Lana or Lana, it's weird. Now you're subscribed and you're on my arm. How you doing? Hey, Lana.
Also, if there's anyone that's out there that would like to reach out to us, you could reach out to MediaTeam at morningbrewsports.com. That's the email, MediaTeam at morningbrewsports.com. So if you can, just drop it in the chat. That way, if anyone wants to reach out to us, they can reach out to us. Uncle Tats, want to throw it over your way, but before I do, Julian, I know you mentioned you wanted to say something. Say that real quick so I can throw it over to Tats and Mazza. Go ahead, Julian.
Oh, I believe the Angels just passed us in the wild card standings, and the Yankees kept the Angels in it by getting swept by them. The Yankees basically allowed the Angels not to trade Ohtani and hold on to hope because they kept them in the race by the sweep. And then the other thing I want to say is just the nonsense with Domingo Germán and Brito tonight. I'm sure you guys touched on it before, but I just don't understand how he comes out of the bullpen and he can't start the game. It just, if you reverse that and Germán's locked in early, maybe the Yankees have a chance. But they just do like this nonsensical stuff all the time, and they just think they're smarter than everyone. And they're not. And no one's afraid of the Yankees anymore. Like they said, the Rays salivate when they play the Yankees. They look forward to playing the Yankees now. Yeah. Even Baltimore does. Like the Yankees are in a sad state of affairs. We're in last place. It's embarrassing.
Hector, can I make one last point before Tats takes over?
Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
To Jig's point too, like I can't think of anybody better who I'd run about second in front of Judge than Soto. Nobody's going to pitch around Soto to get the Judge.
Right.
And you could set that up for the next 10 years, you'd be nuts not to do that. And he's the difference between him and Ohtani. You can't throw an opt-out into Ohtani's contract after 5 years. You can do it against Soto. You can opt out after 5 years at 30 and go cash in again. And you just have 5 years of prime Soto in front of Judge. And if you put somebody Judge, that's 1/3 of Murderer's Row right there. So,
great point.
Hector,
he's the guy to
go
get.
Ahead.
Real quick. Hey, Jimmy, I don't know your mom, bro. I'm just saying this is my daughter. All right, I'm just sorry. Go ahead.
Shout out to Dev Finch that's in the chat that said this is their first time here. Welcome to the community. Jimmy Mathis as well. Appreciate you. Hype Beast J, first time in the building. I appreciate you. Christopher Foster with a K. You know, shout out to the Christophers with a K that's in the building. Yeah, but Uncle Grandpa Tats, want to throw it over to you. Go ahead, bro.
Well, first, Eddie and the Mets Brew. I was in their live chat on their last show. You guys are fire. You definitely are doing a great job. Hector's lucky to have you. But you made a good point, Eddie. We have now become the Wilpons. You know, we've gotten to that point where we have that bravado with the New York team, but we've got no flair. You know, we've got nothing. It's a joke. We've got Judge and Cole wasting their prime years, while Cashman pussyfoots are on all these little small deals. Just go big or go home. This is New York City. That's what doesn't count. You're playing in the Bronx. You're the Bronx Bombers, not the Bronx strike out 18 times a game. It's really become a laughing stock. We are the MLB laughing stock now, and nothing is going to change until we change the GM. That's the bottom. That's where it all trickles down from. Hal throwing a pair and just changing everything around. Just clean the slate. Eat the bad contracts. You should have never re-signed Cash. You should have never brought Cashman back. You should have never brought Boone back. That was another mistake. There were plenty of other qualified people. You know, they could have just promoted Rob Thompson if they wanted to move on from Girardi. It's almost an embarrassment. And it's painful because we want to give our fans the most realistic take possible on the Yankees. So we have to suffer through this, watching it every night, so we can properly evaluate the team and be honest. Not no media, covering up. You get, like Pete said, it's real talk for the real fans. I think that's really what this community has done. And we have to suffer through this. It's not fair. Where's our patch? Give us some of that money.
Refunds.
Yeah. Mazza, just hold on 1 second.
I gotta run. Can I just give my last thing quickly? Because I gotta run.
Go ahead, Mazza. Do your thing.
So I was gonna say get Joe Boo up in here to try to save us, but I don't think that's gonna work. But a quick last thing. They need to wake up. It's plain and simple. It's clear as day. Everybody sees it. This team is no longer what it was. Yeah. It's too old. We don't have enough athleticism. We don't have enough young kids up there. And something's got to change. And it starts with upper management, and that also starts with holding people accountable, which we do not have. So if anything has to change, it has to be in the upper management. But I got to run. I got to get back to work.
Mazza,
love you guys.
Thanks, Mazza.
And I will catch y'all later.
Good to see you, buddy.
I say it every time. I'll never stop. Thank you for your service, bro. We love you. We'll see you this weekend.
Right.
Yes, definitely. Julian, I want to be able to let you segue out of here as well, just because I know you got stuff to do tomorrow. We don't want to hold you that long. But, Julian, just give us some last words before we throw it back to the Mets boys for their conversation. When it comes to the prospects, how do you feel ultimately when it comes to both the Yankees farm system, the Mets farm system? Where do you rank them? And your last thoughts before you get out of here, brother.
I think that the Yankees farm's in a better spot than people realize. I don't have an exact rank of where I would put it, like in Major League Baseball. Maybe I don't know. I don't think we're top 10, but I think we'd be in the better top half based on what I've seen so far. The Mets was weak, but it's getting stronger now at the deadline. So maybe they're inching up. I mean, they did have some good call-ups this year. So Alvarez and Beatty aren't prospects anymore. So that's a good thing. I'd like to see Mauricio get a look at some point. I think that's the last bullet the Mets really have, and then see what Vientos could do. And, I mean, the Yankees have been 500 for the last 200 games now. It's not a small sample size. We're 7th in the AL now. If you factor in AL West too, 6th in the wild card, it's really bad baseball. Brian Cashman's been a train wreck. He's got to go. And until he goes, like Bobby said, nothing's going to change. I feel like we're stuck in the mud with Cash. Because Hal is married to Cash, it's family, and he doesn't want to move off him. How does he get a 4-year extension? And Aaron Boone's just attached to Cashman. I think the bigger issue is Cashman, but you just have to clean out both of them, and it's not going to happen. Maybe Boone goes if they don't make the playoffs, but Cashman's not going anywhere.
Can I ask you a question before you bounce, Julian? First of all, everybody in the chat, you can check out Julian and Sandy Wednesday, 5 p.m. right here on the Morning Brew with the pipe, breaking down the whole entire Yankees farm system. For you, Julian, that literally your life is following the prospects. Do you get frustrated as shit knowing that we've got all this amazing kids down here and they don't even get a chance? And here we are begging to bring in a Tommy Pham when we've got guys that can come up and play?
Yeah, no, I'm all for letting the kids play. I get pissed at the bad evaluations of the fans who just trade the prospects, don't even know who half of the guys are. It's like they're just like names on a sheet to most people that don't watch. Like that's the thing. Like they don't realize what goes into the work for them to get to that point and everything, and like all the background stories. But yeah, I want to see Everson. I'd like to see Chaparro. Give Austin Wells a shot. Get some new blood in there. I think if you don't make a deal, trade some of the expirings, maybe like the Bathers of the worlds, and for all I'm okay either way. IKF, they could skins out just to open up more space. Yeah, get Peraza back up too. Good point, Blue Golds. Peraza has to just stay up and play third base.
Facts.
And there was one other guy I think they were talking about trading. If you could trade Sevy, just trade him. I don't care what you get back. Like Sevy's just a lost cause.
Yeah, I don't know why you're using the word trade, Sevy. You mean just drop him
just
off
release
somewhere?
Him. Just release him.
If the Yankees put him in the bullpen, like don't have him start again.
No,
and the minimum put him in the bullpen.
The Yankees need to do what the New York Mets did with Matt Harvey. They understood it was time to just cut bait, and that's what the Yankees should do with Luis Severino. But Julian, appreciate you, brother. Like I said, make sure you follow my guy Julian on Twitter, Dugout Station, and as well Julian Garotti, his own personal Twitter. Julian, any last words before you get out of here to the people? Anything you working on?
Yeah, thank you guys. Check out Sandy's stuff too. Hers account Sands Millennium. We're working on a lot of good stuff. And for tomorrow, we got to see, we got to see what's going to happen with this deadline and stuff. We want to get more stuff going on the YouTube channel too. We obviously have the show tomorrow with you guys at 5. So actually Wednesday, my bad. But tomorrow we'll probably be doing some trade posts, maybe some more prospect threads. Our Insta with the Yankee prospect highlights too. So that's what's up recently. We're working on it.
Copy. Julian, appreciate you like always. I'll definitely be in the chat on your next show. Appreciate you, and you be safe out there, Julian.
Thanks for having me, guys, and I hope things get better for the Yankees and for you Met fans. Good luck with the little rebuilds, and we'll see what happens with Verlander. I guess that's the last big fish. We know Pham's getting traded.
Yeah,
you know what? We couldn't ask for a better Julian. We couldn't ask for a better segue. I literally just perfect. Hector, right?
Yeah, that's perfect because you Met fans. You got people in Amish country. We got Amish country Met fan with the $4.99 super chat. My man is turning butter while he's watching us on the YouTube right now. He said first time here.
He's not Amish. He just lives there.
Yeah, okay, all right. I'm sorry.
He lives in Amish country.
All right, I apologize, Eddie. That's your cousin. I'm so sorry. I apologize. All right.
We're gonna switch it over, and I love that we can talk about this Mets conversation right now because even Jason and Uncle Grandpa Tats, we all can jump in on this talk. So, Eddie, welcome back to the panel. How you doing, buddy? All right. Let's start. Let's start with Keeve. We'll go Keeve, Key, Eddie. All right. Let's talk Verlander. Right, you guys pulled off a miracle with Scherzer, which was dope. Right, that your front office was able to pull that off and get something in return. Okay, yeah, you're eating a bit, but you know what? It's showing that you care. Verlander since June, right? We all know the beginning of the season. Everybody was like, "Get rid of this man." We're very similar in New York sports. Everybody we're gonna get rid of everybody. Doesn't Verlander seem like a piece that actually brings you guys back a lot more than what you got with any other guy? Are you guys on the we should move Verlander, or do you say you want to keep him? Start with you, Keith.
Where I stand is, you have most of the guys here are gamblers. I'm the dealer right now. I'm standing behind the table. I got all the cards in my hand. All right. If somebody wants him, we'll talk to Verlander. You want to waive the no trade? You go there. If not, I have no problem with you being my #1 starter opening day next year. We got all the power. We're chilling right now. It is what it is. Who wants a former Cy Young winner to go help them win a World Series? You give us the call. We don't give you the call. You know what I'm saying? We did the Max thing is a totally 180 situation. You know what I'm saying? He had can we say bad words on this thing?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Wait.
3, 2, 1. Okay, go.
We got Christ. Y'all ain't right.
Yeah. Earmuffs.
Max Scherzer had to thumb up his ass because Robinson was dealt, and then he started talking out his neck, and he wanted to go upstairs, and it is what it is. It's funny he don't go upstairs when he gives up 6 home runs in a game, but that's a whole other conversation. But he went upstairs and he wanted to know what was up, and they told him what was up, and he didn't like it. So enjoy Texas. It is what it is. A lot of other guys kind of had that sort of sentiment, but they also understand Steve Cohen is a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't gonna just lay down. You know what I'm saying? He's not. And in my personal opinion, he probably told Verlander when Verlander went up there, he goes, yo, listen, your man's over here. He had a totally different situation. With you, if I'm going to let you go, you got to okay it, but I need XXX. Even if you okay it, if I'm not getting XXX, you pitching in Queens in April. It's that simple, in my opinion. So we could get rid of a fan. We got rid of Canada today, and I threw a celebration on Twitter. No offense to the Canada fans, but it is what it is. He had to go. All right.
Eddie has Keith, Eddie. Here, no, he has about like 6 Mark Canada jerseys. That's why he's a bit upset right now. Vito's right.
It's okay. One day he'll revisit that moment in his life. It is what it is. We all have those moments.
Don't worry, Eddie. He'll be back for Old Timers Day. You know what I mean? He'll be back for Old Timers Day.
He'll figure out his path in the organization at one point in like 10 years. But the point of the matter is that, in my honest opinion, right now, if we're going to make any outgoing calls, it'll probably be for Pham, because in my opinion, Brooks Raley stays. He has the team option, so there's value for us. So if you want to come get the left-handed specialist, specialists don't exist anymore with the 3-out rule. If you want to go get a lefty, in my honest opinion, you call us. You want to go get the former Cy Young winner to help you in the postseason run, you call us. Ideally, I will hope it be the Dodgers. They have the better farm, and they could beat the Braves. I don't want them going back to Houston and having a kumbaya situation. No. I'm tired of the Astros. I'm with y'all, the Yankees. I'm tired of them. But if it's somebody, it's only, in my opinion, it's only the Dodgers. I don't want to hear nothing about the Reds, even though they have a great farm system. It got to be the Dodgers, in my personal opinion. It works for Verlander. It works for his wife. You know what I'm saying? And it's perfect for them to go and make a postseason run, to go up against the Braves. And they have the pitching in the farm that the Reds do not have. So that's my opinion. Pham, whether he goes, he stays, I'm cool with it. I'm not going to hold anything against it. I would like them to keep Raley, because I think you can't put too much pressure on Edwin next year. You got to kind of keep the bullpen somewhat intact. Because obviously we let go of Robertson. Who knows if he comes back? That's up in the air. But you don't want to deplete the bullpen and add more holes to the team. So as it pertains to Verlander, listen, if you want to play the game, you got to come to the table and put the chips on the table. That's just how I see it.
If I can, real quick, we got 176 likes on this stream. We are breaking records when it's coming to viewership and likes. We got 210 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button so we can help the stream. And also, you see all the guys that are on the panel right now. Make sure you guys go subscribe to their channels. The links are in the descriptions. If not, if you guys can, just drop it in the chat. That way people can follow you. Key, we want to get your take on it. And also, would you mind the Mets trading Verlander to Baltimore, because they have a bunch of prospects? Key, what's your thoughts, bro?
I would, in an ideal situation, it's got to be LA or Baltimore, right? Because they got like the darlings of like the top prospects in all of baseball. So, I mean, it depends on Verlander, man. He got that no trade clause. It's up to us to find the best deal available. But I mean, what he says goes in this, situation. I would love to keep him, just to keep some arms, for next year. But if that's the case, it is what it is. As it pertains to Raley, he has a team option, so that will come in handy next year. Tommy Pham is gone. Nobody's going to want Starlin Marte, plus he's hurt. Daniel Vogelback, you can see what you could get out there on the market, but I don't think it's much. I'm going to be honest with you. But, I really enjoyed the fact that this team kind of realized ahead of time that they should sell. And they weren't scared. They weren't scared to sell. Usually teams are like, in between, in the middle. You see the Cubs doing it now, going from a seller to a buyer. But, that doesn't always work. So I'm happy with the direction they took and noticing that they needed a punt on 4th down instead of going for it. So it is what it is. We plan it for next year.
No, definitely. Now we got to get the two Eddies. Heads or tails? Who has heads? Who has tails? For who goes first?
I got tails.
All right. Okay, I don't have a coin here, so Eddie Crash,
Tails
you go
wins.
first, brother. Tails win.
Well, yeah. All right.
Nah, Eddie, you've been listening to the conversation. You was on earlier. You gave your take when it comes to the direction of your team. Let the boys know from Shay and Sons, how do you feel while listening to their answers on where they want the team to go? Go ahead, Eddie, and then throw it over to the other Eddie.
I'm gonna have to agree with what Key said, because I think it's the direction they're taking now is honestly perfect. They're not in a spot where they're gonna compete. They're not in a spot where they can compete, and ultimately I think that trading for prospects is the best possible thing they can do, because stacking up for the future is probably honestly the best thing they can do right now. They're not gonna compete. I'm gonna say that right off the bat. They traded Scherzer already. They traded. I'm not saying Canna's super detrimental. There's your little bit of Canna hate. I'm not saying
Yo, this kid is awesome, bro. I love this kid right now. Yo,
School him, Eddie.
Keep
School
cooking,
him.
Eddie. Yo, this kid is so dope.
We all love him.
But I think, they're in a position where they need to trade for those young guys and start planning ahead for the future, because Steve Cohen said he wants this team to win a World Series in the next 3 or 5 years when he came. He's got 2 years left on that. So honestly, we'll see what happens. I think that Marco Vargas could be up as soon as, maybe a season or two, maybe 2. I don't think he's coming up next year just because of where they're at with Lindor and McNeil right now. But if it did come to that, I think Lindor would stay at short. Lindor would maybe even move to second. They're going to have him for a while. He's locked up for another 9 years. So Lindor can move to second if his defense regresses, whatever. Fine with that. Marco Vargas can go to short. Ronnie Mauricio's been testing out. Eddie is my friend. Oh, my God. I'm actually not, but it would be kind of nice, But as I was saying, I think that they also have Ronnie Mauricio, but they've been testing him in the outfield, so Mauricio could be a good outfielder for them. But if it really does come to it, he can go back and play short or second, depending on where Lindor stands. I think that, Vargas could be up within 2 years. They got Ronald Hernandez. Not seeing a need for another catcher, but if Narvaez is gone, then whatever. It's nice to have another one. But I think Kevin Parada ultimately backs up Alvarez. So that could be what happens. So I don't know what they're doing with Ronald. Maybe, sell him, flip him for whatever. But now the Mets are stacking up on prospects, and I really like what they're doing. So that's the end of my little spiel, my rant.
All good. Listen, Eddie. Listen. He's one of the hosts from the rookie podcast that we got on the channel.
I love
Eddie
this
is
kid,
killing
man.
it. If you guys missed out, for those that are in the chat, Eddie earlier today, he went live with Giraffe Neck Mark, who's a big Mets content creator on YouTube. Make sure you guys go check that video. It was an amazing conversation. I want to throw it over to Eddie Presti to get his thoughts before we let the Mets guys go. Jason and Tats are going to stay with me while we let the open panel component start. We're going to bring people up one at a time so they could give their take on the open panel. Once they go, Jason, Tats, myself, TC, and Jigga will go over what they said as we progress on the conversation. Go ahead,
I will say this real quick. Younger Eddie, we're going to let you go now, all right? Because older Eddie doesn't have a filter. Little Eddie, we'll see you later. I love you, buddy. We'll see you on the Rookies Podcast. Amazing job today. Guys in the chat, I know Hector just said it, but I'm serious. After this or tomorrow when you got time, go check out the episode today with Eddie and Giraffe Neck Mark. It was fantastic. And all the Rookie Podcast stuff. Eddie and Halal, kill it. Eddie, get to bed, bro. Oh, it's summertime. Stay up as late as you want.
Stuff,
right? Come on.
Eddie, later, bro.
Well done.
All right, Presti. I had to make sure. Listen, earmuffs for the kid. It would have been horrible. All right.
Brew after dark.
Okay, as far as Verlander goes, reading into it, the ball's in his court, right? He's got the no trade clause, and you're reading reports today that he wants to go back to Houston. In the offseason, he turned down a 2-year, $80 million contract with the Dodgers. So to me, that tells me, he has all. I know all the Mets fans. We want him to go to the Dodgers because they have the best prospects. But unfortunately, if he wants to go to Houston, that's where he's going to probably end up. But if I'm the Mets, I'm not going to trade this guy unless I get an absolute haul, because he's still proving to me he's got number one stuff. And I like what I've seen from him. I'll take him into next year as my ace. And as far as everybody else goes, listen, see what they could get. You see what you could get for Ottavino, Pham, the rest of these losers. See what you could get. Seriously, whatever you could get. You get something for Vogelbach, a bag of chips. So be it. Get it. And we'll go into next year. We'll do what we got to do, man. We'll buy some players in the offseason, and we'll be laughing at you Yankees fans. So that's about it.
Eddie, I got to ask you, that jacket you got, did you get that at like a Prince giveaway or a raffle? What's the origins for that jacket that you're wearing, my guy? Because that shit, you guys ever see? Yeah, you're
lay off the jackets, man.
No, I got this in Orlando, man.
Yo, Eddie kills the jacket game, right?
He does. He does. He kills it.
Before we let the Mets guys go, because I know we've got 5 minutes, so we told everybody the open panel would go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One last question for them. Is there a move you guys want to see before the deadline?
Yeah, Keith, if you want to start it off, throw it over to Key, and then Eddie to close it out before we let you fellas go. Go ahead, Keith.
No, there's no move I want. We're good. I'm chilling.
Damn, how does that feel?
I'm chilling.
How's that feel?
Ready for next year, huh?
I have no problem with that thing. I'm good.
Key?
The only move that's really left that I actually would care about is Ronnie Mauricio coming up.
Okay. All right. Presti.
All of them could go. All the guys that we mentioned, the Narvaez, Ottavino, all these guys, they all could go, get something for them, and fuck off. I don't want to see these guys going to next year, and we'll do what we got to do. Seriously, man.
Yo, people in the chat, this Thursday and every Thursday, 9:30 p.m., you've got the Mixed Emotions Mets Evening Brew. Here's three of your hosts right there. You got James Nolan, you Mets fanatics. That's the show to be at. Thursdays, 9:30. Blow up the chat. You get all the F-bombs you need from Eddie. You get reality and calmness from Keith. You got Jimmy, who don't know what the hell he's going to go into, what kind of mode, on what day. Key's coming up on this week with the rotation. Let's kill it. Guys, love you guys so much. Appreciate everything you're doing.
I just want to say before the Mets guys goes, we appreciate you guys. You guys have been killing it since joining the network. Outside of the network, you guys have your own movements that you guys are killing it as well. Like I'm always telling people to make sure you guys go support the different content creators we have on the channel. Celso, myself, and Phil, we wanted to make sure that we was able to build a platform where other content creators can feel safe and comfortable knowing that they can just put their stuff out and not have to worry about anyone trying to filter what they say or how they do their things. Keith, Key, Eddie, and Jimmy, they are all authentic guys. Just know this. Keith, Key, Eddie, let them know where they can find you when it comes to your social media tags before you get out of here. Go ahead, Keith.
So my personal is always going to be Kicking It with Keith. There's no G in Kicking It, so it's just Kicking It with, no H, just, Brooklyn slang. But that's my personal. Me and my brother's podcast account where we kind of push most of the Met stuff is Shay, letter N, Sons. And, that's pretty much where you'll find a lot of the artwork and a lot of the media stuff we put together. And, and if, I'm always around on Twitter. I'm pretty much mainly on Twitter if you want to find me there, man, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Key, same thing, and then throw it over to Eddie, and then I'll let you guys be able to enjoy the rest of your night. Go ahead, Key.
Yeah. To piggyback off of what Keith said, follow us at Shay and Sons with an N. We on YouTube, we on Twitter, obviously, we on TikTok. So continue to follow, like, subscribe, share with your homies. Talk shit with us. We usually interact with, all the people that interact with us. If we fucks with you, y'all fucks with us. So, that's it.
And what he means by that is bring them emotions on Thursday. Jump on the piano with these fools, all right? Eddie, drop it. Yo, Shay and Sons, Keith, love you, homies. I'll see y'all later on Thursday. Deuces.
All right.
Eddie, let them know where they can follow you and the amazing jackets that you wear, my guy.
You crazy, handsome son of a bitch, you, Eddie. Go ahead.
At Eddie Presti on Twitter, _ at the end. And you can find me on the Brew Crew Sports Net. I always fuck that up for some reason. I don't know why. I never say it right. At Brew Crew Sports on YouTube. Eddie and Smitty show every single Thursday. NBA show on Thursday, 6 p.m. And then you got me at what do we do? 9:30 now? 9:30. Yeah. Mixed Emotions. Mets. You'll find me every single Thursday. So at Brew Crew Sports, Twitter. Find me.
We love you, Eddie. Love you, my guy. Appreciate you. I want to
thank you, Eddie.
before we bring up anyone for the open panel, I want to throw it over to TC, my co-host. You know, you do amazing work over here. Again, just want to thank you for how you contribute with us. But you've been listening to the convo, TC. What's your thoughts? And then throw it over to Jason and then Uncle Tats, because it has been a fun conversation. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, I mean, everybody summed it up. I mean, the biggest hole on our team is the GM. That's our biggest hole. We got to get rid of our GM. Cashman's got to go. The whole philosophy needs to go. Analytics pretty much needs to go. They got to start from scratch. This year, they got to bring up the kids and see what they got. There's no move out there that's going to help this team this year. They're in a tight spot. The thing is that they're over 500, and the fans see that they're still hanging around the 500 mark. They're 3-4 games out of the wild card, but they're not going to win. There's no chance for this team this year. So there's no move out there, no free agent they're going to bring. It's sell time. So open the books, sell all their guys, sell the LeMahieu, sell the Rizzos, sell the Severinos, get rid of them, get some prospects, major league ready prospects. Bring up your kids, Pereiras, Chaparros, Florials, bring them up, see what they can do to end the season. I guarantee you they go on a run. I bet you they'll do better than this team's doing right now. And they'll give them some hope going into next year. And next year we regroup. We got some payroll coming off the books. Regroup, go out and get some of those free agents and build around our kids. That's what we got to do.
Shout out to Joe from the ship.
Joe. My guy, Joe.
I gotta do it. You
gotta do it. You gotta do
it in the Joe voice. All right, This is depressing, fellas. These fucking Yankees are killing me. They're giving me fucking agita. All right, I had to.
Shout out to my guy Joe from the shift. He is killing it, a big time supporter of the channel. You guys know that when it comes to the different Yankee content creators, I always want to reach out and always work with great Yankee content creators. That's why we work with Pete. That's why we work with Joe. That's why we work with Jason, Uncle Tats, Mazza as well, and so many different other Yankee content creators that are in this space. Jason, I'm going to throw it over to you, and then Uncle Tats. First of all, Jason, you had a good time here? Because I'm having a great time.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Shout out to Joey Peppers from the shift. That's what I call him, Joey Peppers. To Steele's point too, I mean, the Yankees are 4 games over 500, but it feels like they're 20 games under by the rate of play. Right, and he's right. And this is no way to go deep into the season, right? So they're gonna have to make moves. And my big thing is, you have a stadium that's built for lefties. Get some fucking lefties.
What? Huh, weird.
Common sense, right? Wouldn't that be smart, Jason? Common sense to get some lefties.
Damn, get Juan Soto. Fuckers. Come on. I mean,
also, too, guys, we got 190. We are at 1,190 on the subs. We are 10 away from 1,200. If you guys can, please hit that subscribe button. Jason, my guy, you were one of the first ones that came onto the stream when I started Yankees Morning Brew, when we first started out. Uncle Tats, after me messaging him for a whole month on Instagram, he finally answered me as well, and we've been friends ever since, been a family. Uncle Tats, I'm going to throw it over to you. What's your thoughts on the conversations? And to the guys that are backstage for the open panel, we're going to bring up everyone as they popped up into the queue. It's going to be a one-on-one thing. We'll bring somebody up to give their take and let them dip out as we bring the next person up. So go ahead, Uncle Tats.
Oh, and it's looking good back there. I'll tell you right now. We got a panel ready, boy.
We'll tell you, this whole stream has been fire. So might as well just continue. But even Jason dropped an F-bomb. We
bring the best out of everybody.
Can we all just agree that we all want shared custody of little Eddie?
Yeah. Also, too, Anthony, I see Anthony in the chat saying that he can't join. StreamYard, there's a limit for how many people can be backstage. We are at that limit right now, Anthony.
3 minutes, Anthony.
Just give it some time, because we're going to filter people in. We want to hear everybody's take. But the first person I'm bringing up, I'm going to bring up my guy, Mr. David Cohen, who's backstage right now. David, if you can, just give me a thumbs up. I want to make sure you're a real person and not a bot. Copy. I've been tricked before. It doesn't happen. Definitely. It definitely happens. David Cohen, my man, salute,
fellas.
Drink. Let's
Welcome,
go.
first time on the panel. You gotta let me know what you sipping on over there. Is that a Long Island iced tea? Is that a cognac? Is that a Jack Daniels? What you got over there, Dave?
Sorry to disappoint, fellas. It's soda.
Yeah.
Now,
I wish it was a drink, though, considering this fucking team.
Yeah.
Is it Pepsi or Coca-Cola? What is it?
Pepsi.
That's my guy. I don't trust people that drink Coca-Cola. Pepsi all day. Go ahead, David. Let us feel what's your thoughts on the conversation. And before we filter you out, because we got a lot of people backstage, just give us your take where you feel, where you at right now with the team, and then we'll talk about it after you go. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, if you remember the panel we did in May, it's basically the same thing all over again, except I think it's worse now than it was in May. You know, and
we had hope then.
Yeah. Yeah, but we had some type of hope. I don't know how much you hope you guys had, but
false hope.
There you go, false hope. But excuse me.
All good, brother. But, and also to the guys that are in the chat, if you guys can, please smack that like button and please share it as well. Go ahead, David. My problem.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. But what do you say that we haven't already said? You know, in your videos, guys, that you do every day, is that there's not much more you can say. And then we got the deadline in what? 24, a little less than 24 hours, and Ugats, not a damn thing. And at this point, this might be the way to go. Just sell off what you can and play the young kids. You better the Tommy fan. What the fuck is Tommy fan?
Right.
You know,
not doing nothing.
No, you better off just at this point, just sell what you can, get what you can, and play the kids. You know, I'd be okay with that to this point. You know,
It's great call, David. Appreciate you, bro.
Like always,
guys, he's
David.
not wrong.
Just
we need to get athletic.
Just so David knows, and just so everyone knows in the chat, every Friday morning for the Yankees Morning Brew, we do an open panel where we bring everybody up and we have the conversation and go back around. If this was your first time on the open panel, if you guys are backstage, just know every Friday we do the open panel. I'm going to throw it over to Jason, Tats, and then TC. What's your thoughts on what David had to say, Jason?
I mean, I'm with you. I would pass on Tommy Pham. And again, the bottom line is there's all levels of frustration with us Yankee fans, right? Frustrated at so many different things. And we just want, and I can't speak for everybody. Actually, we want to know that they care. We want to know that Hal cares about actually winning, right? Instead of lining his pockets. So, and how can you do that? You make moves. You make your team better, you know? And it's okay to actually follow what the Mets might be doing. Eat some bad shit. Play some young kids. We do have some young kids. And like Julian said earlier, we have a farm that might be better than people think. Because we're only talking about Dominguez, Peraza, right? A couple of guys. And we're not including other guys like Tyler Hardman. He's got like almost 30 home runs right now. He could be Rizzo's replacement at first base. Nobody's talking about him. Right? Does anybody even know who he is? So there is some good capital here that the Yankees could afford to give a shot and chance and give us a shot to see who can replace the guys. Instead of spending $180 million on Murakami from Japan, who he might not even get for first base, we have a kid here who's hitting the balls over buildings. You have Chaparro hitting balls over buildings. We have guys here that they could play that can probably help the team. And again, if you're getting better, fans are still going to come to watch the team. So it should be about the fans, man. The more you win in New York, there's nothing more. I've said this before. There's nothing more profitable than winning in New York. Your baseball.
No, definitely. We got someone in the chat. Dave Portnoy is in the chat, apparently. So if this is the real Dave Portnoy, appreciate you for stopping by. Smack that like button. Who
I hear you got money to sponsor some dudes.
Peraza? Oh, yeah, definitely. I hate Florial. If they didn't, I can't even get that out. You're not. I'm gonna bring up the next person to the conversation. And as you guys are coming up and then filtering out, please, if you guys can, just jump back into the chat and leave backstage just so it can open up for more people. But I want to bring up Jonathan, a very loyal member of the channel. Good friend of the channel, good friend of the show. Jonathan, my man, you've been listening to the conversation.
I've been here.
You know what to do. Let's go, Jonathan. Let's go, Jonathan.
Let it out, Jonathan.
Sorry, we just got to keep just for a little bit because we got a bunch of people. Go ahead, Jonathan. Go ahead, brother.
What I would do, I would just sell everyone I could and bring up Chaparro. You've been talking about this guy for a while. Bring up Pereira. I don't know why Pereira is not here in left field right now. We have him on the 40-man roster. We need a left fielder. Why not bring him here? If I want to talk like Eddie, bring him the fuck up.
We can't it out of everybody, including Jonathan.
You know it's a problem when Jonathan is dropping the F-bomb. Jonathan is like proof. Jonathan is like the most professional. No, definitely. Jonathan's like one of the most professional people that come onto the open panel. So you know something's going wrong in Yankee land if Jonathan is dropping F-bombs. Go ahead, Jonathan.
There has to be some laughter today after this shit show.
Yeah.
Jonathan, where do you want the team? Where do you want the team to go now? Because you heard, they said that after Baltimore and after Tampa, they'll be able to figure out where we're going to go. Go ahead.
I want us to sell. I want trade Torres, trade everybody, trade Severino, trade everybody who's going to be a free agent within the next 2 years, and bring up the young kids. Bring up Chaparro. Bring up Pereira. Bring up Will Warren, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I just want them to be younger. I want them to have better. This team has no plate discipline. There's no one on this team besides Judge who has plate discipline. That's why you strike out 20 times in 2 games or something like, or more.
30 in 2 games. 18 yesterday.
That's the problem. This team has no plate discipline. They spend more money on analytics. All their analytics.
Exit velocity.
Bullshit. You might as well pay them with, I don't know, fucking toilet paper. Because that's where in the toilet.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in and watching how the Yankees can literally break a man live on YouTube.
The Yankees, they have broken Jonathan.
They broke Jonathan.
Is broken.
Jonathan, we love you, bro. We'll see you on Friday.
You, bro. Appreciate you like always.
Thank you, Jonathan, as always.
Jonathan. That's my guy. The next person that will bring it up will let him direct his statement to Uncle Tats. That way, Uncle Tats will be able to respond to him. But TC, I want to throw it over to you. What's your thoughts on what Jonathan said?
No, I mean, hey, the Yankees are driving these guys to swear, and I mean, it's bad. It's bad times in New York. But no, he's right. I mean, they honestly need to try so hard to get rid of Gleyber and bring something back.
You guys, Jason crying over there.
Yeah, I mean. Honestly, what more can you do? You got to laugh at this team. I mean, right now, I mean, the moves. We got to push hard to get Gleyber out of here. They got to unload a lot of these guys that could bring something back and play the kids. Peraza, I want to see Peraza play short and Volpe move to second. I want to see that the rest of the season and see what we got. I mean, I want to see Pereira in left field. Is he a left fielder? I want to see him maybe in center. Let's get moved Bader. Let's see what we have. Chaparro could be playing first. Rizzo, it's time to either go or you're riding the bench. I mean, these kids, they got to show the rest of the season what they have. Either that or we have to move them for other pieces. We can't sit and tread water. That's all we're doing. We got to make a move, make a statement, and Cashman's running out of time.
Just want to let everyone know, I see everybody that's backstage. We got Sunil backstage, Billy Branch, my guy Michael's backstage. I'm his country Met fan. We got Tyler Tabbitt backstage. I am Hill is backstage.
Some new
We're going to bring all you guys up as you guys showed up onto the panel. The next person we'll bring it up is L.I. Yankee King, so he can let us know how he feels about the team. Uncle Tass will respond to him. L.I. Yankee King, the only troll in the Yankee community we acknowledge is L.I. So L.I., make sure you engage with Uncle Grandpa Tats because he would break down what you said. And first of all, you took a bath today. I can tell. I love your handsome face. Go ahead, L.I.
That hair. I got to just say it. Good Lord.
I'm so jealous. As someone who's fucking bald, I'm so jealous of your hair, L.I. And make sure you embrace what you have because it will be gone in 10 years. Go ahead, L.I. Make it fast because we got a bunch of people down that's backstage. Go ahead, bro.
Obviously, you see my name. It's Rest in Peace MLB season.
Yep.
It's done.
About that time.
Season with no left fielder, a closer by committee, a starting rotation basically built around Gerrit Cole, for Gerrit Cole. If Gerrit Cole collapses, you're dead. A lineup that if Aaron Judge isn't there, dies, forgets how to play baseball. You go into a season with your rookie shortstop, has to carry the team while Judge is gone, not being in position to carry the team, and Cashman decides, oh, we're at the deadline. Let me not sell anything. Let me not buy anything. Let me be a fucking moron as usual. I can't do my job unless Stick Michael and George Steinbrenner are up my fucking ass.
Well, Li, you dropped the bomb right there. And your T-shirt says it best. Brian Cashman's brain is in fucking space right now because he's not doing the goddamn thing. But Li Yankee King, you know I appreciate you like always. Shout out to you, Uncle Grandpa Tats. Let us know what's your thoughts on what Li said. Before I bring up Sunil, who's backstage doing Bikram yoga right now. I'm just letting everyone know Sunil's doing yoga right now as we talk. Go ahead, Uncle Tats. Before go ahead.
We all know Li is our favorite troll. But no, he's right though. I think the one thing that he pointed out that really does not come into the discussion enough is the pressure that was put on Volpe, right? Especially in the absence of Judge. Everybody was looking at him like he got stuck into that, all the comparisons, the dumb comparisons to all the players of the past. Where we all wanted him to, we're all looking for the next Jeter, and we put that pressure on him. And the more the team struggled, the more intense that pressure got. And he's not that he can't handle it, because I think he's handling it as well as you could expect. He's going to be fine. We need to stop really saying that, well, he's only batting this and he hasn't had a stolen base in X amount of games. But you cannot put him in position to carry a team. That's it's really unfair to him. And Cashman has sat idle and just let this team just completely crumble beneath itself. And Li is, for one of the rare times, I think he's right.
You stupid tats. He said for one of the rare times. Shout out to my guy Li Yankee King, because like they always say, a broken clock is wrong is right twice a day, as they say. I want to shout out to my guy Ruben with the $5 super chat, who said, I rewinded the stream and I watched it on 2x speed. Just got caught up. Great show tonight. By the way, the Eddie and Jiggerman on Legends when you listen to them on ×2 speed. I don't know if you guys tend to do that, Jason. I'm not sure if you do that, but I tend to, when I'm watching something, to speed it up ×2 or ×3, and it's hilarious sometimes. I see we got a few people that backstage that we're going to bring up. We got Amish Country Met fan backstage. Amish Country Met fan, let me just get a thumbs up just to make sure that you're a real person and not a bot. There's the thumbs up, my guy. Amish Country Met fan is in the building. You got to let us know. But how good is the butter that you turn every time you watch a Met game? How good is that butter, bro? No, appreciate you joining on with us, Amish Country Met fan. Let us know. You heard the conversation with the Met fans earlier. How are you feeling after this trade deadline? Go ahead, bro.
I feel good about it. My guys, Keith and Key, are my guys. We do content together sometimes.
Nice.
Shout out Eddie. I just want to know, Tommy Pham for Jason Dominguez, yes or no?
Hell no.
No. Hell no. Of course you would want that. Of course you would want that.
I was just doing one of Eddie's little
yeah.
An Eddie Twitter trade.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, like we asked the guys before they get out of here, right? Want to ask you before we let you go, bro, and appreciate you jumping on with us. Just know, open panels on Friday. You're more than welcome to jump on anytime you want. But when it comes to this team, where do you want them to go from here on now? Is there another move that you want them to make? What's your thoughts on that before we let you get out of here, bro?
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm good with the moves they've made so far. If we're blown away for Verlander, then I got to consider it. But I'd also like him to – I wouldn't mind him being the ace of the rotation next year either. So like Keith said, it's a win-win situation with Verlander. If we move him for a big package, great. If we keep him, that works too. Other than that, yeah, I'd like to see Pham go for something. Obviously not Dominguez. If we can get rid of Rayleigh, Ottavino, guys like that, I'm with Eddie. Get rid of whoever you can, man.
But just know this, and I'm going to throw it over to Celso because I know he wants to respond to you. You guys got Luke Voigt in the minor leagues killing it right now. So your savior is on his way. Luke
bring him up. We're going on a run.
Save you guys, baby. 20 games in a row because Luke Voigt and his chest will be in Queens banging bombers. Go ahead, Celso.
Appreciate you, Amish Country, man. We appreciate you tuning in, bro. I mean, look, I'll say this. The Mets right now are a perfect example of what us Yankees fans could be if our front office actually made some competent moves right now.
Common sense
right?
moves. Yeah.
They literally are dealing with a shit ass season like we had all season, but at least their front office is showing them, hey, we're calling it a day. You know, we're doing horrible, but we're going to show you guys that we care enough to make some moves to stock up, make some moves in the offseason. We're not getting anything. We're not getting any signs of hope. Okay, we're getting the same line over and over again. Guys, don't worry. We've got reinforcements coming. Judge is here. You guys know any other reinforcements that are going to change shit around for us this year?
No,
because I don't. But whatever. Let's bring up the next person. We got Billy Branch. Welcome to the open panel, Billy.
Billy, welcome.
Thank
Billy?
you.
First time on the open panel. Appreciate you for stopping by, Billy. You've been listening to the conversation. I'm familiar with you from Jason's community, so thank you so much for jumping over. Billy, you are one of the wise sages that are in the Yankee community. So talk us off the ledge, Billy. How are you feeling at the trade deadline?
I wish I could talk you off the ledge, but I can't.
Here I am about to get all mental already. And no,
here's what occurs to me. I've been following this team for 45 years now. When George Steinbrenner said that owning the New York Yankees was like owning the Mona Lisa. So taking that into account, would George Steinbrenner ever put an advertising patch on the Yankee uniform?
No.
That is the difference that we're looking at here. We're looking at Hal Steinbrenner, who has shown us nothing. It's the new. This is the new age of Steinbrenner, whereas we're going to turn a profit, fan base be damned, and I wish I could be a little bit more optimistic, but they've really shown me nothing. I was in the first panel I was on with Jason. The question, I think this was back in April, was like, the question was, what is this team? Well, it's July now. We still don't know what this team is. So I'm thinking to answer the question of what would I like to see the Yankees do. I would like them to see them get younger and more durable, because we know Stanton. He's a big bat, but you know what? He's not getting any younger. And DJ has never played up to his contract since he signed his extension. And Rizzo is probably hurt. He has probably been hurt and can't hit an inside pitch anymore. So if they're going to make moves, I don't necessarily need to see them make huge moves, with the exception of Juan Soto. I would like to see them dip their toes in that market. But get guys who can play, and if that means getting up the farm, make it happen. You know I'm envious of Met fans right now, because they have an owner who seems to get it, and who seems to give a damn, and is willing to do what. You know, I mean, one thing you could say about George Steinbrenner, he was willing to lose money if it made the Yankees better. And I don't think Hal's there. I don't think Hal is ever going to be there. And like I said, I really wish I could be more optimistic, guys, but I'm just not. You know,
Billy, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Like I say, you are one of the old wise sages in the Yankees community. Billy, on Fridays, we do an open panel where everybody is welcome. So you're more than welcome to come on Fridays, Billy, as well. Appreciate your take. Have a good night, Billy. Hopefully these Yankees could switch things up. Great one. Jason, I'm going to throw that over to you.
I was about to say,
that's his boy.
Since he's from your community, I'm going to throw it over to you. Then we got Michael that's coming up next. My guy Hill's coming up. Yankee boy number 7. Then I got Tyler Tabbitt and then Sunil before we round it out. So, Jason, go ahead, brother.
And CPNY Sports, we see you back there too, my guy, as long as your camera comes up and gives a thumbs up.
No Big Ten, Jerry?
All right.
There he is.
There's a reason why I call Billy Yoda, because he's a wise one on the channel. He brings perspective, conversations that lack it. So, and he brings a point. And something I brought up earlier too. You know, George Steinbrenner and Steve Cohen have a common trait in common. They made their money, and Hal inherited it. It's a difference in perspective. It's a difference in mentality. So Hal would not run the team like his dad would. These guys have a different value of money. Those guys are bringing. George bought it for $8 million. And now they're a $10 billion franchise. So if anybody knows return on investment, it's George. Okay. And building it from scratch again. This guy was a shipyard builder. So he was also a military guy. And but building your money, making it versus inheriting it is a completely different mentality. So I think Steve Cohen and George Steinbrenner are probably ones that would have the most perspective in terms of that, which is one reason why they run there. And even us fans, we know it, right? Hal does not run Yankees like George did. We know it. It's obvious. So, and these are the types of things that give you a little bit of a different perspective when you talk about it.
What's crazy too,
definitely,
Jason. What's crazy too is we see all the people, and Tats, I know you agree. We see everybody online. Everybody, go get us young people. We've got young players. We're just not calling them up. So if the goal is, hey, play young guys, stop saying go trade for young guys. Just use the ones we have freaking right here. We're stuck with the bullshit contracts we have now. So let's just bring those guys up. So to me, I don't understand why people are still harping on the go get me someone young at the trade deadline. Okay, hold on. Let me call the Rail Raiders. Let me call the Patriots.
Also, right?
Those were a lot cheaper to stay under that budget.
Exactly.
Also, too, and then I'm gonna bring up the next person, right? I don't want to sound like a broken record. I know everybody is tired of the Estevan Florial conversation and the excuses about how his high strikeout rate is the only reason he's not up here. I'm gonna tell you this right now. The reason why he has a high strikeout rate is because he has a high on-base percentage, and he's batting in AAA with no protection or hardly any protection behind him. If he was on the major league roster with his speed and his ability on the base path, they would not be pitching around Estevan Florial, and that strikeout rate wouldn't be as high as it is. Again, like I said, I know his numbers at AAA are just numbers in the minor leagues, and sometimes minor league numbers they get inflated. But you can't deny his speed and his power. He has 23 home runs as a leadoff hitter,
and
batting in AAA.
And he can catch the ball.
Yeah, but here's the other good thing. That line if I hear anybody use that angle anymore, we just broke the record with 30 strikeouts. So if you're going to tell me you're upset that someone might strike out, hey, we're doing it already. We're doing it.
Now I want to bring up the next person, right? And I love this guy. This is my guy. That's why I said backstage, my friend Michael is going to be coming up. And when I said Michael, I mean my guy Michael Caputo's in the building. Capooties, you handsome devil, you motherfucker, Caputo. Hope all is well, Caputo. I haven't seen you in a while. Caputo,
in the dark.
You've been listening to the conversation. Where are you at with this team right now? Before you drop the nuclear bomb, that way TC can respond before we bring up the next person. Go ahead, Capoots.
You got to blow the whole entire team up. Yeah, you got to clean house. That's it. Everybody should be gone from pillar to post. Third base, first base, second base, left field. They need everything. This team. They need an entire facelift. They need a whole major overhaul. I mean, that's it. Now you've seen it. You've seen it like in live and living color. They have to make major changes. And if Busteroni reported what he did, that they're not going to make any significant changes in the Yankees next year, if they miss the playoffs, then this organization, I mean, I lost all the respect for not only the Yankees, but the whole, I'm done. I'm done with this team. If they're going to bring back Rizzo, Stanton, and LeMahieu again, it's just the same shit again. They've been doing this, running it back since, 2017, 2017. I'm sick of this nonsense. When are we going to get new players? Are we ever going to get new faces on this team? I'm sick of the same. The Yankees need to get young too, but can we see new players? I'm sick of seeing these. I'm sick of seeing the same mugs every single year. I'm tired of this nonsense. Get rid of all these.
It's the same excuse. It's the same copy and paste generic response when asked about this roster.
Yeah.
It's blaming injuries. It's blaming suspensions. It's never holding yourself accountable.
That's what they do. They just do a patch job.
It's like you know what it is, Caputo. And I'm gonna say this before I let you go, Caputo. It's like when the Titanic hit the iceberg, the Yankees hit an iceberg, but instead of patching the iceberg, they're putting Band-Aids and pillowcases to cover that water that's sinking this ship right now. Caputo, my brother, appreciate you like always. Thank you for joining us. The open panel is on Friday. Come by, Caputo. We miss you, bro. Go ahead.
I also feel like you got a little bit of what's that word? Like when you are able to sit there and say, aha, in your face, because you've been preaching this shit before the season even started.
Yeah, you facts,
right?
facts, Caputo.
So,
facts.
you know, for those of the people in the chat were like, oh, Caputo's crazy. Well, Caputo looks smarter than a lot of us right now. So, Capoots, I don't care how dark your room is. Way to call it, my guy.
Caputo, love you, my guy. You be safe, brother. Got to bring up the next one, but I'm going to throw it over to who responded on the last one? I forgot real quick.
That was TC.
Yeah, so I'll throw it to TC. TC, what's your thoughts on what Caputo said before we bring up the next guest? And I see everybody that's backstage. Hill's gonna come up. Yankee boy number 7. Then I got Tyler Tabbitt. Sunil is still doing yoga back there, and then we got CPNY Sports who will bring it up before we close it out. Go ahead, Jason. Don't be joining him with the yoga, all right, bro? Don't.
Hey, honestly, nothing he said was wrong. I mean, we always get on Caputo for all his negativity, but he was right. Like Jigga said, he's been right since the beginning. I mean, this team does need to be blown up.
That's how bad of a season is. I have to sit here and say, hey, Caputo was right, because Caputo says some crazy shit, all right?
Yeah.
But this was one of those seasons where a lot of the stuff he said, you have to sit there and look at it now. Like the fact that we're even sitting here and saying we did a Band-Aid or a patch job. Where? Because I didn't see a left fielder. Hector, did you?
No.
So I don't know if how do you call it a patch up? We didn't patch shit up. We just came into the surgery like, screw it.
We would have been agreeing with Caputo and LI.
The world is over. It's over.
That's a fact, Taz. That's a fact. I'm bringing up the next guest that I can. We got a $2 super chat that is in the building. Appreciate all of the super chats tonight. My man Gio says this offense is like watching softcore. Yes, Cinemax flicks. Cinemax all day.
Wait, I still get some of y'all the softcore though.
I'm gonna bring up my guy. I am Hill to the panel. Now, my guy, I am Hill. He is a very unique individual, right? Because not only is he a Houston Astros fan, right? He is a Texas Ranger fan who is wearing a St. Louis Cardinals shirt. Hill, how are you feeling at this trade line with the teams that you support and the moves that they have made? And also appreciate you for jumping on, my guy.
Yeah.
We've known each other for over a year, some change over on BX Sports Jedi. Thanks for jumping up for the first time, bro.
That's another thing you forgot to mention. I also do a Yankees podcast, so I'm everywhere on baseball. Because I say I'm a baseball fan first, but seriously. And speaking of which, I told Jedi before, even 2 months ago, before all this carnage, people started to realize it, I was like, if you pay attention to how baseball is now, starting from around 2015 to now, the mindset of buying championships, kind of like how the Yankees are kind of doing now with the whole spin 200 here, 300 mil, like it's the 90s or early 2000s, that kind of mindset doesn't work anymore. If you pay attention to how teams were from 2015 onwards, to everyone that's won a championship, you start building within the farm, and you start placing a guy here, you place a guy here, you place a guy there, and then where you start spending the big bucks is you spend it on the pitching. That's where all your winning comes from. And what the Yankees don't understand is, number one, like I said before, if Hal Steinbrenner actually did care about the legacy of the Yankees, and if he actually did care about his father, and he cared about everything to do with the organization, he would fire Cashman and fire Boone. Because Boone, listen to me, the most important thing a team can have behind it is a guy that fires up that team every time something bad happens. And also, Judge, I'm sorry, I know he has the captain that comes with the contract and all that, but you can tell even he's dead. Even he's like, you know what? I'm done with this season. I'm done. But you're not supposed to be like that. You're the captain. You're supposed to fire up this team. You're actually technically not even out of it. What is wrong with you guys?
There's no energy in that dugout, Hill, and you nailed it right on the head, brother.
Yeah. I you know what? I know I'm gonna catch flack with this, but I believe Derek Jeter was overrated. But at least he had the aura of a guy that was a leader. I mean, at least when you looked at Jeter, you're like, you respected that guy. When I look at Judge, all I see is a great baseball player that has the captain logo. If that makes any sense.
No, it definitely does make sense. And that statement you made, half of it I'm gonna give you some credit for. You know, I'm talking about we looked at Jeter, but when you say he's overrated, Hill, I hope you stub your goddamn toe going to the bathroom at like 3 a.m. But shout out to my guy Hill. Appreciate you for jumping on. Hill, you know, open door policy whenever you want to come on the open panel for my guy Hill, and make sure you support Hill and my guy BS Jedi over on the Jedi Sports Network. They kill it. I'm gonna bring up Hill just one more second. I'm sorry, Hill. Let them know, when are you live with Kev when you guys do your Yankee podcast? I know you guys do the game watch along, but besides that, when is your Yankee podcast so people can follow you, brother?
It's obviously on Big Sports Jedi, and I'm on a sabbatical right now because I'm spending time with my dad, because you know he works a lot in other states and all that.
All good, bro.
Because I'm just trying to spend time with him.
All good, brother. Just know whenever you guys are gonna go live, let us know in the community. You could promote it in the community tab and everything.
Yeah, he plans on going live tomorrow, I believe. As for me, I'll be back. You know, as soon as they leave.
Well, Hill, just know you got an open door policy whenever you want to jump on the open panel. Appreciate you, my guy.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for
man, there's a lot to unpack in that one, Heck.
Uncle Tats.
My God.
Yeah, that's why I got to leave it to Uncle Tats. Like he said in the chat, he is the crazy uncle of this community, right? And just so you guys know, we're going to be wrapping it up at 12 o'clock just because Jason and Tats, they've been on with us for a while, so you want to respect their timing. But Uncle Grandpa Tats, it's on for you. Then we're going to bring up Yankee Boy number 7, Tyler Tabbitt, Sunil, CPNY Sports. I see Anthony is backstage, but you're having connection issues with your camera. If you want, you just refresh and hit and click the stream button again so you could jump on backstage. But go ahead, Uncle Tats.
Well, I was feeling him until he mentioned the Jeter overrated. And I was like, oh, you were doing so well. But no, one thing that he's right on is the fact that, Hal has really just diminished the Yankee legacy. It was part of my rant this morning when I completely lost my mind. You know, you took this beautiful championship caliber franchise that was revered worldwide, you know, and you turned it into shit, you know, over just to make a profit. It's embarrassing, you know, and no wonder why there are other organizations and other teams. What free agent is jumping to come to the Yankees right now, you know? And yes, we could all say, money talks, but nobody's calling their agent to say, I want to be a Yankee. I want to be a part of that team. It's not happening right now, and it's sad. It's really a sad state that we're in.
I mean, what's crazy too, Tats and Jason, is you see it all the time now. People talk about it. No one fears the Yankees anymore.
No,
they shouldn't. They shouldn't. No. And it's been a couple years now that we've walked out of a season going into the next one hopeful, like, oh yeah, next season. Did any of us come into this season like, oh, this is our season?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to your point, if I could.
Go ahead, Jason.
This is not a knock on Judge. I love Judge, but the heart and soul of this team is Gerrit Cole, not Judge. He's the one who stands up for his teammates. Nobody else. And he does it every single time. He sees mentoring players. He's getting guys' faces. You know, shortstop boots a ball. He looks like he's going to kill you. Okay? That's the type of heart and balls and focus I want on this team. I love Judge, but he was right. And he's a fantastic player with the captain logo. If I was them, I would have made Cole co-captain in the story.
Yep.
You get that feistiness out of Cole that we don't get out of Judge.
We need a Paul O'Neill.
Jason dropping the gems right there. But I'm going to bring up the next guest, the next few guys that are going to jump on the panel before we wrap it up. Yankee boy number 7 is in the background. Let me get a thumbs up just to make sure you are an actual human being. We got the thumbs up. And I just got to say this. Yankee boy number 7, those shades that you got, they're magical, my guy.
It's a consigliere.
You're styling and profiling on us, Yankee boy number 7. But Joe, you've been listening to the conversation. Let us know, how do you feel about the team? And then Jason will respond
Joel?
to you.
How you doing, Joel?
Go ahead, Joe.
First of all, the reason why Don Corleone, a.k.a. Jason, doesn't need to use the F-bomb is I take care of that for him.
All right, Yankee boy number 7.
Go ahead, Joe.
guy that speaks the fucking truth.
Let's hear it.
Afraid to say it. Secondly, Billy's got a few years to catch up to me. So I've been a Yankee fan for longer than Billy. I've been following them since '56. So I've gone through the great days when people actually wanted to play for the Yankees in the 50s and the 60s because that was the greatest thing in the world. And not because of salary, but was because by going into the playoffs, they got extra money. It's not like today's game where everybody makes a shitload of money and postseason is what makes their livelihood affordable for the rest of their time. But few things. Number one, nothing has happened with the fucking team offensively since 2009.
Oh,
fair point.
Matrix.
He froze in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Joe.
Matrix.
That's the internet,
He
the
was so
Matrix.
onto it, too.
That's what it is. He's dropping those
Cashman
gems.
hacked
And
him.
Hal
Cashman-
Steinbrenner is trying to shut down the stream. That's what it is. But Jason, I'm gonna throw it over to you to respond to Dro since he is from your community. Oh wait, he's back. Hold on, wait 1 second. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, Joe.
So the key is, they talk about things that they've been doing, but we haven't changed our offense since 2019. And winning to us is not making the fucking playoffs. Winning to us is a World Series ring.
Yeah.
And Hal Steinbrenner doesn't have that mentality. His sister does. His sister would be a better runner of this team because she's got the George Steinbrenner blood running through her and in her veins. And she would run this team in the way that the team needs to be run, making the acquisitions that need to be made and doing the things that need to be made and putting the right people in the right spot, which means getting Cashman the fuck out of there because he's sitting on things. I mean, 7 weeks ago, Jason and I and the rest of it and TC was there. We've been talking about, what should the Yankees be doing? And the Yankees should have been making their moves 6-7 weeks ago. We wanted to get Gigliotti and Bummer. We had prospects. How'd the Angels fucking get him? Do they have better prospects than we've got? No. This Torres deal right now. Get something from it. Put together a package. Get Soto. Get Hader. Get Snell. Get somebody who's going to build this team back up. Get the pitchers from Pittsburgh. So we'll have a decent pitching staff. We'll have a different fielding staff. We'll have our left fielder, and then bring up the youngsters to fill the holes that Rizzo is starting to make, that LeMahieu is starting to make, and that Stanton is definitely making. The only Stanton is we've got a long-term payout on him because we can't trade him without losing the pay-in that Miami gets us. But those are some of the things that we need to start doing. Is we need to start being aggressive about getting some blood in here. What would be wrong with having like Bader leading off, Soto batting second, and Judge batting third?
Listen, Joe, you're killing it. You're hitting it out the ballpark, bro. Appreciate you for coming up. Thank you so much for helping us out and for being that consigliere that dropped the F-bombs from Jason now and then. Appreciate you, Joe. And just know, Joe, you have an open door policy. Anytime you want to jump on the open panels that we do on Friday. All right, Joe? Appreciate you for jumping up, my guy.
Yo, I got something for you, Hector.
Go ahead, bro.
You ready? I'd like to point out it's what time now? 11:42. And no Yankees news. I'm happy. I told you. If there's no Yankees news, I'm a happy guy.
Listen,
if it's not
earlier
Soto, I'm happy.
When Jason and I was having a conversation, we were saying to each other like, "Oh, I hope that we're on when some type of Yankee news drops, so we could talk about it." But we got 18 minutes, and I don't think there's going to be any news that's going to be dropping. But Jason, you heard Joe. Let us get your take before we filter in the next person in on the convo. Go ahead, and we're going to bring up Tyler Tabbitt and then Sunil. Go ahead.
This is why he's my Tom Hagen. He's my Silvio, right? That's my consigliere right there. He keeps it straight. You got that guy with a different type of perspective too, bringing it. And again, and he calls it like it is, whether it's not. And I try to do the same thing, which is why I said specifically. Somebody said here that baseball works. Position players are going to be the heart and soul. Who told you that? Have you played baseball? I have. It goes both ways. Cole is the heart, so he's the fire on this team, and he makes it obvious. Judge does not.
He's a winner.
Phenomenal hitter. But Cole, he's ready to throw hands at somebody who hits his batters. I want that on this team. I want more guys like that, honestly.
Facts.
So that's the bottom line. So it doesn't matter who tells you what or who shares the information with you. That's the heart and soul of the team. He, to me, deserves to be co-captain. Do I have a problem with Judge being captain? Zero problem. But I think Cole deserves the recognition too.
Definitely, 100%. I'm gonna bring up the next person to the open panel, and that way TC can respond to them. My guy Tyler Tabbitt. Tyler, brother, how you been,
What's up,
my
Tyler?
guy?
I'm
Haven't
great.
seen you on in a while. Hope all is well with you, bro.
The screen sucks though.
Damn,
yeah. He's hitting it right out the gate. But Tyler, you've been listening to the conversation. Your name on the screen says it all. How do you feel about this team, and where do you want them to go? Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, Cashman and Boone need to go in a box floating down the Hudson.
Facts.
Go ahead.
Your mustache is legit, by the way, Tyler. That's some Carlos Rodon. You're legit.
And then trade everyone you can. Torres, Gator, Rizzo.
Yep.
Is there anyone that you want the team to keep, Tyler, and build around besides Aaron Judge and Gerrit Cole? Is there anyone else that's on the team that's untouchable in your eyes before we let you go? And thank you so much for joining us. Go ahead, Tyler. Tyler, you heard me, bro? Rodon.
That's
Copy.
And that's it.
And Volpe. Of course. Listen, Volpe, and this is the thing. If you look at Anthony Volpe, his wins above replacement, he is 6th when it comes to major league shortstops. When you look at his stolen bases, when you look at his home runs, he is 3rd on this team in home runs. He is leading this team when it comes to stolen bases. Tyler, appreciate you for joining us. Any last
real quick,
words?
Tyler.
Go ahead, Tyler.
We're gonna see you September 23rd.
We better.
We'll be there.
Yeah,
that's
round with Tyler,
right.
man. Love seeing you last one, man. I'm excited to hang out with you again, bro.
Definitely. Tyler, last words before we let you go, brother.
Good night, everyone.
Appreciate you, like always, Tyler.
Thanks for stopping by.
Bro.
Good to see you,
Listen,
man.
Tyler is an amazing Yankee fan, right? When I met him at the last event that we had April 2nd to start the season, Tyler, his energy was on a different level. Even though we lost, we needed that type of energy. But TC, you heard what he was saying. Let us know on your thoughts before we bring up the next person.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler, for stopping by. It's always good to see the new faces, and I know you've been in the chat before, but it's good to see everyone joining. But yeah, I mean, he's right. I mean, we got to get rid of everybody. Basically, just keeping Cole, Judge, Rodon, Volpe, build around that. Bring up all the other kids. I mean, Peraza should be already. He shouldn't be down. He should be on our team. So yeah, that's where we start and build from there. That's it.
My guy Ruben in the chat who says, breaking news, the Yankees trade for Tommy Pham and he gets suspended for slapping Boone for benching him after getting 2 hits with the Mets. And, and I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happens. But I'm going to bring up the next person. This man has been backstage doing yoga, right? And I wish you guys could see it because I've been dying laughing on the inside. My man Sunil is a clown. He is a clown. He is a clown. He is a funny man. Sunil, my brother, appreciate you. Unfiltered After Dark. How are you feeling about this team? Where do you stand? And give us your take before we let you go, before we bring up the next person. Go ahead, Sudi.
So while I was trying to zen out doing the Hulk yoga, by the way, that's the name for it. I felt like when Caputo was on screen, I was asking you missed it in the comments, actually. I said, Hector, do you got a fucking 70mm IMAX, screen to watch Caputo? And it's fucking watching.
I saw you.
It's like watching fucking Oppenheimer.
So no, give us your take about the trade deadline. Nothing is happening so far. I don't think anything's gonna happen. What's your thoughts? Where is the team going in your eyes? Go ahead.
So do you want to hear my take or do you want to hear Jim Mora's take? Playoffs? Are you fucking kidding me? Playoffs? We're lucky we win some more fucking games. Playoffs? And here's my take. Here's my take on the record.
Born 1989. I wasn't born in the 60s. So half of these reference, I don't know what the fuck you said. Okay, have a goddamn time. Okay, go ahead, Sunil. You know I love you though.
If you remember,
you saying this stuff like I watch Turner Classic Movies. I don't watch Turner Classic Movies. Go ahead, Sunil.
When trying to Google shit while he's saying it. It's like,
Oh God.
Tat's face is about to turn redder than a fucking tomato right now. The way he's laughing. Oh, and Tat needs to tell you the story about the Steve Balboni email. True story. Cashman leaves a misguided email addressed to Steve Balboni. And it's on Uncle Tat's phone. He's like, yeah, this is Cashman leaving a message for Steve Balboni. We're looking for a hitting coach right now. Before we hire Casey, we'd like to give you a shot.
Oh God! So no, you are a character, my guy.
That yoga got him delirious, man.
For real. I just want to give a couple of shout outs. We got Brett Tappet in the chat. Appreciate you for tuning in.
That's right.
He says
He's in his
Cass is
sleeping bag.
already in his sleeping bag. Absolutely. William M is in the building. Appreciate you, William M. Like always, thank you for your service, my guy. Sunil, appreciate you. Last thoughts before we bring up the next person. Go ahead, Sudi.
I pity the loss for NYY News TV because SGR is not going to have a role mimicking Cashman after very long. This team is ending 66-96. Mark my words.
Wow.
This team. So we already started on the trajectory. This is a loss tonight, and I made this projection saying we have 57 games. Jason, you saw this too, right? On direct messaging. So I'm going to speak to this like really loudly today.
Yankee boy number 7, appreciate you for the $9.99 super sticker. Go ahead, Sunil, because we got to bring up the next couple of people.
Okay. This is the last thing. So basically, the trajectory started today. You saw it. The offense was just straight complacent and putrid. And what I said in that entire thing to Jason is there's going to be 5-10 game stretches where I'm predicting your record in each of these last 10 breakdowns will be in consecutive. It'll be 1-9, 2-8, 1-9, 2-8, and then we're going to have 1-9, and then we're going to have 7 games left. By that time, we will be a fucking 62-93. We're lucky we win 4 of the last 7. That would be like our World Series to end the season. We would win it would be like the best of 7. It ends up being 66-96. I can't see it going any worse than that, but that's my utmost, pessimistic projection for you guys.
If that happens, this is going to be a very sad and pitiful summer. But Sunil, appreciate you like always, bro, for jumping on with us. You guys know Sunil from the Friday Open panels. This is my guy, my geyser. He is a very funny human being.
Oh, and
I love him to death. Go ahead, Sunil, before we let you go.
I'm inclined to come on September 23rd. Oh, my fear is TSA may actually put me on the no-fly list with all the personal vendettas I have against me.
No. What it is you didn't get the notification. We all got the email. The Yankees, they got a big ass picture of you outside of the stadium at every gate that says, "Do not let him come through. He steals napkins and straws." That's what the Yankees got, and that's their reason not to let you in.
And I'm going to go full Cobra Kai on their ass and show them paint the fence.
So now, I love you, brother. Appreciate you. Uncle Taz, help us translate what Sunil was saying, Uncle Taz, before we bring up the next person, before we close it out. Go ahead, Tats.
What a character. I love Sunil.
Oh, definitely. I love him.
We read this joke about me being the hitting coach. I've been the owner. I've been, the bat boy. I've had every job.
You're like that guy that's in those.
Because I was Tommy Fan before Tommy Fan.
No, Uncle Taz, you're like that guy that's in the small neighborhood that he's the volunteer paramedic, he's the volunteer firefighter, he's the volunteer dentist, he's the volunteer garbage man. That's you. Go ahead, Taz.
Yeah, no, but to his point with the record, right? Because I think he makes a really viable point.
Mm-hmm.
We may need to go under 500 to really see a drastic change.
Mm-hmm.
It may be the magic is over. It's gone.
Hey.
We are not the Yankees that we were, and it's depressing as fuck to say it, but it's
not
just the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
The magic is gone. That's it.
Can I say one thing, Heck?
Go ahead, Sos.
And I think
Before
it was just
I got CP. We got CP backstage. I want to bring up. Go ahead.
Was it Sunil who said, or whoever was right before Sunil, where they said that Judge doesn't, look like he cares, this and that? Do you guys feel like maybe there's a little bit of that? They begged him to come back with the toe injury because they were like trying to give us that thing, and he himself knew he wasn't fully ready to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I don't see Judge as being a guy who's like, oh, I don't care. I think it's more of the whole entire team sees what a shit show everything is, that it's easy to get kind of checked out. So I don't know. I'm just not giving the strike to Judge because I was on the train of he shouldn't have come back.
No,
like if you're gonna get surgery, get it done now. Look at the shit season we're having.
I'm right there agreeing with you, and I'm gonna say it real quick, and I'll throw it over to Jason, TC, and Task before we bring up the next person. But when it comes to Judge, I think Judge actually cares, but I think majority of that team mentally they have checked out because they see the front office is not making the moves to support this team. Right. These players, they're thinking about what's going on. When the Mets traded when the Mets traded David Robinson, Matt Scherzer came out frustrated, Justin Verlander came out, Pete Alonso came out. So they understand what's going on right now. When it comes to this Yankee team, they seen who this team put in left field. And they know that's not what you need if you're trying to make it to the postseason. CWE is in the chat. TC, I want to get your take real quick. Jason, Uncle Tad, before we bring up the next person. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think Judge is frustrated because he thought he was coming back to, before in the, the offseason, he thought he was coming back to a championship caliber team, and he didn't. This team isn't a championship caliber team. He's frustrated because everybody's, they're performing very bad. I mean, that's unfortunate that they're all at one time having their career worst seasons. But some of the plays these guys are making, the mental lapses, he's frustrated that nobody's being accountable for this. People they're not playing baseball, fundamental baseball. And it's got to be getting to him because he worked his way up and to get where he's at and be the captain of the team. He can't put up with this, and no one's doing anything about it. So he's very frustrated, and I don't blame him. And he probably did come back too early. And I say within a week or so, if this team loses about 6 out of 7, he's going to go have the surgery. He's done. He's going to say, what? I'm done with this team.
Yeah, no, 100%. I feel you with that. Jason, go ahead, brother. Same thing going your way, and then throw it over to Grandpa Task before I bring up CPNY Sports before we close it out. Go ahead, Jason.
You make an important point. And again, Judge's injury was a playing hard injury. Back and around injury. Crashed into the wall. Broke the freaking wall, jacked up his toe, but because he was playing hard. So I don't question his effort at all.
And facts, like Ruben said.
Jigga makes a valid point, too, because I do think the Yankees brought him back prematurely. And I also think a lot of them thought this was going to soften the blow of the shit show if we brought in our star player back. And it's not working. So, and I do think you make a great point, both of you guys. At some point, you need to decide, like, am I going to get the surgery now, or am I going to potentially have a deeper setback and miss more of next year? When they do have 7.
Jason, it was literally when I went on your panel, and it was right after the Oakland A's thing. Everybody was celebrating. I'm like, are we literally celebrating a win against the Oakland A's?
Exactly.
All of a sudden, we're an amazing team. Like nothing changed.
Exactly. 100%.
Yep.
Freaking great
Tats,
point.
want to get your take real quick before I bring up the next guest before we get ready to close it up. Go ahead, Tats.
No, I agree with everybody. I think they rushed Judge back, trying to salvage something before the deadline. But
the fans,
if they bring him back like they have, they played him for 2 games and then they sat him. They're not even pitching to him. He had another 3 walks tonight.
Yep.
So really, what's the point? Just sit him. I'm with you, Jigga. I was just ready to just shut him down for the season, let him just come back next year with hopefully a new team where they can actually go on to a competitive run because this team is not competitive.
Yeah, 100%, Uncle Tats. We got 175 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button. We are sitting on 226 likes for this stream. We are breaking records when it comes to likes and when it comes to viewership. We topped off at 250 plus views at one time. So we appreciate all the new subscribers as we are sitting at, I just want to double check, make sure I got it right. We are at 1,213 subscribers. Wow. If you are watching this, please hit that subscribe button. But I want to bring up the next guest. And before we close it out, CPNY Sports is backstage. Let me get a thumbs up, Brody, just to make sure that you're a real person. He's a real person. Let's bring him on the conversation. CP, what is due, my guy? CP, first time
Welcome,
on
CP.
the open panel. Welcome to the conversation. I see you got an orange and blue hat on. You a Met fan, Yankee fan? What's your thoughts? Oh, he's a Met fan.
We represented. We're here.
Okay. Yeah,
Last
right.
caller, I guess, of your guys' show. I appreciate y'all. I've been in tune with Eddie and Smitty for the Knicks content. Obviously, I do all sorts of content on my channel, but good to get y'all.
Let them know if you got a channel. Let them know in the chat.
Yeah,
Feel free to
shout
drop
out
the description, the link in the chat, so people can subscribe to you as well, bro.
Yeah, at CPNY Sports, I do Knicks, Mets, Giants content, everything in between. It's good to hear you guys' perspective on the Yankees, obviously. Good to hear what's going on in the crosstown. Shout out my guys, Keith and Key. Obviously, they were on earlier. Amish Country Mets fan. I do an Interstate Mets report with him every Tuesday at 5 p.m., every Friday at 4 p.m., twice a week. Catch that on my channel. Catch that on Amish Country Mets fans channel. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. But yeah, the Mets are obviously retooling. It's not a rebuild. The Mets are in the driver's seat with whatever they're doing this trade deadline. They've been in the driver's seat. Obviously, you guys touched on it before. The comments, Scherzer obviously was unhappy after the Robertson trade. A day or two after, out the door. See you later. Mr. Cohen is not playing games with these guys. Like, if you want to be part of this team going forward, you're more than welcome to. And Verlander's facing that heat right now. The Mets are in the driver's seat with the Verlander trade. If they don't trade him, it's a win because we got an ace for 2024. If we do trade him, it's a win because guess what? Mr. Cohen is going to spend that money to eat his contract, and we're going to get top prospects in return. So it's a win-win for whatever the Mets are doing. I'm fully on board with what we're doing. We got Luis Angel Acuna, obviously was a steal in that Scherzer trade. Scherzer would be maybe a number 4 for us in the rotation next year. Obviously, Yamamoto out of Japan. Epler's highly scouting out of Japan. I think that the Mets are going to make a strong run for him. Shohei, I like to talk about Shohei, but nobody knows what really Shohei is going to do, whether he's going to want to come to the East Coast, the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers. Everyone in between is going to be gunning for Shohei. So, but one thing that the Mets players, they've been kind of questioning whether the Mets are going to be contenders in 2024. Listen, guess what? Steve Cohen is going to make the Mets on opening day. He's going to put out a contending roster come 2024. I fully believe that. 100%. Well, listen, man, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you getting my take in. But
before you go, bro, let me because you're the last Mets guy we have here right now. And I want to ask you as an example, and then we'll go with the panel once you get off. But 2 weeks ago, you guys were questioning your front office. Just 2 weeks ago, right? They're not doing anything. Our shit season, horrible spending, all that. And the reason I bring it up is you're a perfect example. You guys, as a fan base, your front office is showing that a move, showing that you give a shit and care, can change your entire mind frame when it comes to your season and your hopes for next season. If he doesn't make the move with Scherzer and Robertson, are you praising him or are you still pissed off?
No, I'm praising him because guess what? No, well, I'm a little bit pissed off, but listen, this all comes from Steve. Yeah, well, and it's a
I get it, CP.
It was Steve Cohen's press conference that guess what? He did not need to do, right? When he made that impromptu press conference, he said he considered the money already spent on these free agents, Max Scherzer being a prime example, already spent. That was the one line that I took from that. He considered that investment already spent, and he was going to do whatever it took to regroup whatever he needed to for anybody that he had already spent money on. And Tommy Pham's going to be the next one falling a domino. We talk about the Yankees and Tommy Pham. That's going to be the next domino to fall. I feel like Verlander, and that's keyword if he's traded, is going to be the last domino to fall. But guess what, man? Steve Cohen's going to eat that money. He's eating the money on Eduardo Escobar. He's eating the money on Mark Canha. He's going to eat the money on Verlander if needed. And guess what? The Mets offseason, whether it's via trade, whether it's via free agency, Steve Cohen's going to spend that money. The Mets are going to have a contending team on roster come 2024. We got MLB ready prospects already in the pipeline. You talk about Mike Vassell. You talk about Blade Tidwell, who just got promoted to AA today. Luis Angel Acuna, who's killing it in AA so far. The Mets are Mets fans. I get it. We're upset. This is a failure of a season with a $400+ million payroll. But make no mistake about it, people making Steve Cohen out to be a bad owner. Listen, man, I'm telling you right now, this guy's gonna do whatever it takes, and I respect whatever him or whether it's coming from him or Epler. I respect both of them. And guess what? When David Stearns, presumably, quote unquote, comes in and is the president of baseball operations for the Mets this coming offseason, we'll see the real deal of what the Mets are about this offseason. I expect fireworks. So I appreciate y'all letting me get my take out.
Appreciate you, my guy. Hey, Thursday night. I know you always support. So
well done,
show
CP.
up Thursday night for the open panel with the Mets Evening Brew. We expect you there.
Yeah,
I'm coming through. Definitely.
Also, just know you got an open door policy. Anytime you want to jump on, you're more than welcome to jump on, whether it's the Yanks Morning Brew open panel or the Mets Open Brew open panel. And always know that you can promote your channel in our chat. All right, bro?
Appreciate that, Hector. Thank you all.
Good job. Later, Chris.
Heck, I'm gonna throw it to you real quick, bro. Off of what he was just saying right there, and then we'll go around before we end, right? But can we sit here and all agree as Yankees fans? We're watching an owner that literally says, "I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is." I messed up.
Imagine
it didn't work out, and you know what? I'm gonna eat. He's
I'm
literally
jealous.
eating his words. He's eating the money on these players.
Listen, we finally found a billionaire in Steve Cohen that's not afraid to spend some money. Because normally billionaires, they like to penny pinch and try to hoard all their wealth. But Steve Cohen, Met fans, you guys, I'm jealous of you guys. I know a lot of us Yankee fans are jealous of the ownership that you guys have now. You guys have an owner that is willing to eat money, understand a mistake happened, and instead of sugarcoating or trying to just bullshitter when it comes to just, not being upfront with the fans, you guys got a good one. Jason, I'm gonna throw it over to you, Uncle Tats and TC before we get out of here. Go ahead, brother.
I'm not a Mets fan, but I give Steve Cohen a lot of credit because he's doing it right by his franchise and he's giving his fans a lot to look forward to. And even as a Yankee fan, I look forward to seeing what he's doing with the Mets. And it's not something that
rubs off, right?
Yeah, it rubs off, and he's doing it right. And you do right by your people. It's definitely contagious. And, I give him a lot of props for that. So props to Steve Cohen and Hal and Cashman. You might want to call this man, take a master class or something. Do something.
For real.
Learn from
exactly. Uncle Tats, same question going your way before we get up out of here, then throw it over to TC, and then we'll call it a night.
It's remember the days, because this is what we were like, where we had the owner that just did whatever it took to win. If it wasn't working, he had no fear. George had no fear in cutting, and we all have used the term, when George was here, and it's all we all know the past. George was not the perfect owner. The dynasty was built behind his back, but he at least had the business smarts and the financial backing to at least keep it going. So let's give him that credit, because that part of the conversation that statement never gets finished. George at least understood what was going on and kept it going. When we needed to hit refresh, he hit refresh. And we don't have that anymore. The Mets do, which is why, it was earlier when I think it was Eddie when he called us the Wilpons. I thought that was probably that was the one, there's a lot that stood out today. But that one, I was like, all right, that was a good one. That was probably the most perfect dig that a Mets fan could throw at us.
Yeah, TC, same question going your way before we wrap things up, brother.
Yeah, I mean the tides have turned. I mean we're now looking like the Mets used to look like, and the Mets are looking like we are. At least they have an owner that wants to win. At least he's out there trying, and he's upfront with everybody about it. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to take this team this direction. We're just left in the dark all the time. They have no clue what they're doing, and it's just super frustrating. It's too bad that we have to put up with this, and they have the money. You can't be trying to be under the luxury tax and penny pinch. The team's worth $7 billion, almost $8 billion. I mean, come on. I mean, making us pay these outrageous prices for games and putting them on all these different networks. I mean, it's just a joke. It's just BS, man. I'm tired of it. and who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. I doubt anything happens. I'm with Jigga. I hope they do nothing and fall on their face, and then look across town and see, oh, well, look, this is what the Mets are doing. And maybe they'll wake up and say, "Whoa, maybe we have to do something and be reactive rather than proactive." It's their Yankee way all of a sudden now. It's just too bad to see, and we're all frustrated. I know you, Hector. I mean, we do these shows, and Pete, and we're so tired of this. I mean, is there any light at the end of the tunnel here? Is there any hope? I mean, what do you guys think? I mean,
TC, your guess is as good as mine. I want to shout out the people that are in the chat before we get out of here. We got Joseph Torres, first time watching from Puerto Rico. De la Isla, Joseph, what it do? Joseph, let me know what part of the island you from. My family's from Caguas. My grandmother's last name is Torres as well. I seen earlier we had Anthony Lapari backstage. It was an issue with StreamYard. It's not connecting your camera. Anthony, just know Friday for the open panel. You're more than welcome to be our first guest on the open panel. Sorry about the technical difficulties for tonight. We appreciate everyone who joined us. Scott Braun, my guy Pete Simonetti, Julian from the Pipe, Eddie from the Rookies podcast, the guys from the Mets Evening Brew. We appreciate everyone for joining us. Uncle Tats, Jason 161, Mazza as well. Make sure you go and support our guys. Fellas, any last words before we get out of here? You guys can make it fast, and then we dip.
Super fast. Shout out to everybody in the chat, all of our new subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Listen, we promise we're constantly bringing you content. If you're into New York sports, NBA, MLB, NFL, we got you covered. Jets, Rangers, Yankees, Mets. Oh, man, we got all kinds of shit. So everybody, appreciate you tuning in. Turn on the notifications. Jason, Tats, I appreciate you both hanging out with us all night long. All of our other guests as well. Guys, smash up the like on the way out. Leave a comment in the chat. Tell Hector how beautiful his hat is. And, that's it. How you doing?
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
right.
Jason, last words. TC, Grandpa, Tats. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jason.
Appreciate all your support. Thanks so much for listening to us for several hours. Appreciate it. And again, we're one big family. So we try to support each other anytime we can. So we're part of this big Yankee fan community. We love our team. We're angry when they're not playing well. We're happy when they are. So we all have different approaches, but we all come together at the end when it matters the most. And that's
if you were right here, I'd hug you.
Yeah.
Uncle Grandpa Tats, go ahead and throw it over to TC, and we out of here.
Big shout out to the chat. They were on fire tonight. And to everybody from all of our channels that all came here tonight to have this little pre-party for the deadline. You guys are the true rock stars.
Yeah.
Definitely. TC, close us out, brother.
Yeah, thanks again, Tats and Jason. I mean, your stuff is great. I mean, just thank you for just hanging out with us this whole night. I mean, this was awesome. The chat was great. I mean, we're all here to suffer together, and we're all family, like Jason said. We're just trying to, speak for the fans. And Jigga and Hector, they do such a hell of a job behind the scenes here. I mean, these guys are, hey, it's a great show. It's up to, it's because of them. It's just a pleasure to be part of this. And, it's an awesome ride. And I just want to, continue with it. And, hey, let's see what it brings tomorrow. And see if they go in the right direction. I don't know. It's just
hopefully 3 o'clock in the morning is the time that the Yankees love to operate. 3 o'clock in the morning is witching hours, but it's the same time that they re-sign Aaron Judge.
Ninja Cashman time.
So we out of here, baby.
Last thing, Wednesday morning, Yankees Morning Brew. We got our boy from WFAN, Chris McMonagle, coming on the show. Tune in this Wednesday, 11 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm done talking, man. My vein keeps popping out. It's been a long night. Let's end this shit.
That's right. September 23rd. Watch the video. We out.
Billy Joel.
Si tú te tiras, yo me tiro, Si tú te tiras, yo me tiro. Si tú te tiras, yo me tiro. Si tú te tiras, yo me tiro. Si tú te tiras, me tiro. Envidian por su estilo. todo estaba tranquilo, pero llegaste sola al partido. Y baby, no me voy de aquí sin ti. Todo lo que estás sintiendo lo quiero sentir. Tu enojo, tu coraje, como llegaste aquí, cantando que Lani, baby, dámela a mí. Por la T-Dress, no ven por la T-Dress. Hop in the phantom, Wazzy y dress. Si quieres, pues nos vamos donde quieras, bebé. Me gusta como